This is Henry Simon, bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for Julian Penmark, address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
In many cases, the tracing of a missing person involves more than just a search. So often complications crop up which seriously impede our investigations, and occasionally even force us to abandon them altogether. Then, of course, there are those cases in which complications are present from the very outset, such as in that detailed in the file card which I have before me now. It was on a Tuesday morning in the June of 1951, when I was visited here in my office by a Mrs. Russell Webster. A fine-looking, well-groomed woman in her mid-50s, she explained that she'd been twice widowed. And until 5 days before, she'd been sharing a flat with a 28-year-old bachelor son, Julian Penmark, to whom she'd given birth in the early years of her marriage.
I have no other children, only Julian. His father died when he was 10, and I had to take a job to support him. Then, a few years later, I married Russell Webster.
And Julian remained with you?
We sent him to a boarding school and then on to Oxford. He and Russell were never on the best of terms. After his graduation, he took rooms somewhere in Knightsbridge. We saw very little of him. And then, when Russell died in 1947, he came back to live with me.
At your suggestion or his?
We were both lonely. It seemed the obvious thing.
And you've been together ever since?
Except for a short period, yes.
He left home 5 days ago, you say?
Last Thursday morning.
Gave you no previous indication of his intention?
None whatever.
Well, did he leave a note or any form of message?
Nothing.
He took clothing with him? Money?
He certainly had money, or should have done. I paid him his monthly allowance only the day before.
Allowance?
He doesn't work. I've been supporting him.
Why is that exactly?
He's not terribly strong. He tires easily.
Has he ever worked?
Not for a salary, no.
How long have you been paying him this allowance?
Since he came down from Oxford. Before that, he received £40 a month.
And now?
100. Russell was a wealthy man. He left us both amply provided for.
So on the day prior to your son's departure, you paid him £100.
Well, 85 to be exact. He'd borrowed 15 from the previous month.
£25 a week. Quite a substantial amount. What did he spend it on?
Clothes and books, mostly. He reads a great deal. And then, of course, he has his stamp collection. He spends quite a lot on that. And his records.
Records?
He's interested in classical music. He has hundreds of recordings.
I see. You've never urged him to take a job?
I suggested it from time to time, but I only succeeded in making him annoyed. He said if I was tired of having him about the place, he'd get out and find other lodgings. Well, naturally, I didn't want that, so I let him be.
Did he have any romantic interests?
No, he's never been particularly interested in women.
Any close friends?
Not that I know of. He hates mixing. He always has done.
Is he the shy type or just unsociable?
Just unsociable, I'm afraid. He's certainly never been too shy to be rude to people, friends of mine and so forth. And when I say rude, I mean deliberately and pointedly insulting. It reached a stage where I didn't invite anyone over for fear of what he might say to them.
Has he always been like this?
More or less. But it's been worse since he got out of hospital.
Hospital?
Actually, it was a sort of rest home, a sanatorium.
Oh?
He had a breakdown. It was only slight, but, well, he was quite ill.
Nervous breakdown?
Yes.
How long was he inside this sanatorium?
5 months.
What form did this breakdown take exactly?
A form?
Yes, the breakdown.
He acquired a sudden passion for setting things on fire.
Setting things on fire?
Fortunately, he was prevented from doing any real damage, but, well, it was all most upsetting.
I imagine it would be. Did he enter the sanatorium of his own free will?
On a doctor's advice, yes.
And when he came out?
He seemed all right, just moody and restless.
I see. How long ago was all this?
Close enough to 3 years.
And there's been no recurrence of his firebug tendencies?
No apparent recurrence. But that's what worries me so. I'm wondering if his disappearance signifies that he...
That he might be up to his old tricks again.
Well, yes. If he suffered a relapse, there's no telling what could happen.
I suppose you haven't thought of contacting the police?
The police?
Under the circumstances, you know, it might be advisable.
To set the law on my own son?
Oh, no, to have them trace him.
But that's why I've come to you. If I brought the police into it, he'd never forgive me. It'd be the end of everything.
The point I'm trying to make is supposing he does some sort of damage.
Well, I want him found before he has a chance to.
Beyond 5 days already.
You don't understand, Mr. Simon. I'm not saying he has suffered a relapse. I'm saying it's possible.
Even so.
If you're not prepared to accept the case, of course, I'll go elsewhere. There are any amount of private inquiries agencies about.
I didn't say I wasn't prepared to accept the case, Mr. Webster. I merely raised the question as to whether or not it might be advisable to contact the police.
Well, I'm telling you now, I won't have the police involved.
As you wish.
You wouldn't approach them against my will.
Only if I felt it to be absolutely necessary.
You gave me your word earlier that everything I told you would be treated in the strictest confidence.
And so it will be. You can walk right out of this office now, quite secure in the knowledge that not a word of what you said to me will be repeated. But if you press me to accept this case, I must act as I think best, in my own interest just as much as in yours. Now, that's not to say that I shall go to the police. Chances are it won't be necessary. But if, during the course of this investigation, I decide that it is, then you must abide by my decision. You see, Mrs. Webster, an organization such as ours just has to protect itself. At the same time, of course, as it's protecting its clients. If it were otherwise, we wouldn't be in business. In plain terms, we just can't afford the risk of becoming accessories before the fact.
You talk of accessories and protection. All I'm asking you to do is to find my son.
And I've told you we shall do everything possible to, if you're agreeable to the stipulation which I've just made.
Well, so long as I have your assurance you won't act indiscreetly.
I believe we have something of a reputation for not doing so, Mrs. Webster. It's our policy to be as discreet as possible, regardless of the situation or the circumstances. I see no reason at all why an exception should be made in this case.
I'm sorry. I spoke rather thoughtlessly. Please forgive me.
No, there's nothing to forgive. I fully understand your anxiety, Mrs. Webster. You're under a considerable strain. It's not very surprising that you should be on edge. I just want to be quite certain that you appreciate my position, that you're not labouring under any sort of false notions.
Of course.
Now we understand each other. Do you still want to leave things in my hands?
If you're agreeable, yes.
Fine. I'll just jot down 1 or 2 more particulars, and then we can commence our investigations right away. The tracing of Julian Penmark was not an assignment I relished. On the contrary, in fact. For I'd long been wary of cases involving the mentally maladjusted. For one thing, they rarely do what's expected of them, and they often do what isn't. For another, they have quite a habit of spelling trouble with a capital T. Be this as it may, however, I saw no legitimate reason for refusing the case, and an hour later I followed my client's departure by sending for Agent Paul Studdy, who, on being acquainted with the facts, expressed sentiments very similar to my own.
A firebug, eh? Oh, so help me, that's about all I need to wind up in the nut house myself.
Well, there's nothing at all tangible to suggest he's still a victim of his old obsession. He was supposedly cured 3 years ago.
Yeah, supposedly.
And he wasn't in a mental asylum. He was in a sanatorium.
Okay, I'll go quietly. Where do I start?
I think the best plan would be to have a word with the doctor who treated him. Perhaps he might be able to shed a little more light on the subject. Oh, it wasn't intended as a pun.
Yuck, yuck.
His name is Cabot, Charles Cabot.
Brain specialist?
Something of the kind. Mrs. Webster referred to him as a doctor of psychiatry. He has rooms in Belmore Road, just along from Harley.
Yeah, I know it.
It's number 34.
And he's the one who put him away, eh?
Well, he recommended a rest cure.
Well, no harm in checking with him, I guess.
Mrs. Webster said she'd give him a ring. He ought to be expecting you. At the Belmore Road consulting rooms of Charles Cabot, Studdy was ushered into the presence of a tall, gaunt-featured man with a slight stoop, who informed him that Mrs. Webster had phoned not 20 minutes before.
Yes, she said you'd probably be paying me a visit, Mr. Studdy, but I didn't realize she meant quite so soon.
Well, I'll be as brief as I can, sir. I guess she explained about her son leaving home.
She did, and I'm not so sure that I like the sound of it.
You figure he's had a relapse?
It's not my business to figure, Mr. Study, but I'd say it's on the cards.
Well, I understand he was cured when he left the sanatorium.
So far as could be estimated, he was. But it's quite impossible to be 100% certain about anyone, particularly a person like Penmark.
Uh-huh.
I did everything I could for him, but for some reason he refused to allow himself to cooperate. It was almost as if he didn't want to be cured.
Uh-huh.
Moreover, he took an intense dislike to me from the moment of our first meeting. I was an intruder into his subconscious, and he resented me because of it. On one occasion, he actually accused me of trying to destroy his sanity. Very difficult patient, I'm afraid.
He wasn't dangerous.
No, not in the normal sense.
Except when he got his hands on a box of matches, huh?
Precisely.
Well, if he has suffered a relapse, do you feel he may have picked up where he left off, so to speak?
Well, if you'd asked me that question an hour ago, my answer would have been very definitely no. Now I'm not so sure.
How come?
Well, as I said, he had no love for me, and in fact his dislike amounted to a hatred.
So?
According to his mother, he left home last Thursday morning.
Uh-huh.
On Thursday night, my wife and I were visiting some friends. We got home rather late to find the police waiting for us.
Police?
And our house had been burnt down.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
Study is used to sudden twists and surprises, but he was hardly prepared for Charles Cabot's abrupt announcement that his house had been burned down during the evening of the day on which our quarry had left home. To encounter such a very explosive turn of events so early in our investigation was unusual enough in itself, but in this case it was akin to a volcanic eruption.
You mean to tell me that your place was burnt down completely?
It might as well have been. The walls were still standing, the interior was gutted.
Oh, brother.
And that's why I was so shocked to hear from Mrs. Webster that her son had disappeared from home that same morning.
Do you know if he knew where you lived?
My address is in the phone book. It wouldn't have been too difficult for him to find out.
No, I suppose not. And he really had it in for you, huh?
Well, as I say, he was far from being my most ardent admirer.
Yeah, puts the lid on things properly. I guess you've already phoned the police.
No. As a matter of fact, I wanted to have a word with you first.
Uh-huh. Well, have the ruins been examined?
Yes, an insurance expert looked them over yesterday.
And?
He was unable to determine the cause. In fact, he wasn't even sure if the fire had started inside the house or outside. He seemed to favor the former, but he was by no means definite about it.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll be definite enough when he hears about Penmark.
Well, I'm not so sure.
No?
We've only the fact that the fellow left home that morning to go on.
Yeah. But it's, and I think you'll have to admit this, it is kind of a queer coincidence.
Even so, it might be no more than that. You see, my wife happens to be an extremely careless woman. She almost burnt the place down once before by leaving the iron on. And then on another occasion, she left a lighted cigarette on the mantelpiece. It dropped on the carpet. If I hadn't spotted it when I did, well, you see what I mean. There's nothing to say that the same thing didn't happen again, or something similar.
This insurance guy, this inspector, he found no evidence of foul play?
No, he found no evidence of any kind. The thing is, you see, I don't want to charge Penmark with arson only to discover he had nothing to do with it. I'd much prefer to sound him out first, which is why I'm rather glad that you people are on the job. If you can find him before I take action, then I'll be a lot happier.
Yeah, well, just supposing, of course. But supposing there are others he has a grudge against. Well, what about their places?
Now, my dear Mr. Study, you don't seem to realize the man can't be arrested simply because he chose to leave home when he did. Besides, if he was responsible, and he gets wind the police are on his track, well, there's no telling what he might get up to. But if you just seek him out quietly without any fuss, well, with an even chance of getting at the truth painlessly and effectively.
Well, okay, but I still think it's a matter for the police.
He shouldn't be too hard to trace. Suppose we give it 24 hours. If you haven't found him by this time tomorrow, I'll do as you advise, and I'll contact the police.
Yes, well, as you say, Studdy, it is a little much for coincidence, but of course I can see Cabot's point. He's loath to accuse Penmark openly without some sort of concrete evidence. If he did, and it was later discovered the fellow was nowhere at all near his home when the fire broke out, he'd be placed in rather an embarrassing position, wouldn't he? And especially in view of the possibility it could have been due to his wife's carelessness.
Yeah, well, Chief, what bothers me most is the thought that it might happen again to somebody else. In which case it'll be also on our conscience as well as Cabot's.
All right, then. Supposing we go to the police ourselves. What can they do? Even if they were successful in tracing him, they couldn't hold him. Not for any length of time, anyway. Now, of course, the thought of the effect it might have on him, being hunted down like a criminal, it could very well cause him to lose his head completely, and perhaps do something desperate, whereas a private inquiry might have worth any sort of risk of that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, those were Cabot's sentiments exactly.
All right, then, let's do as he suggests. Give it another 24 hours, shall we?
With nothing whatever to go on, we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Perhaps another chat with Mrs. Webster might be in order. If he has any other sort of grudges, she might know about them.
She didn't mention anybody in particular, apart from Cabot, did she?
Only mentioned him in his professional capacity. She made no reference at all to her son's animosity towards him.
Should I tell her about the fire?
Might be an idea. Might help her to appreciate the extreme seriousness of the situation.
Yeah. Well, I sure don't envy her position any.
No, nor do I envy his.
This is dreadful, Mr. Studdy. Why wasn't I told sooner?
Well, we just found out ourselves, ma'am.
I suppose Mr. Simon is all for going to the police at once.
Well, not exactly, ma'am. He and Mr. Cabot share the same view. That we should try it our way first.
If he does decide to go to them, I'll understand. You might tell him that.
Thank you, ma'am, I will. But right now, the big question is there anybody else your son doesn't like? Anybody at all? Anybody he has a beef against?
Not that I can think of. But then he's so uncommunicative.
Did you know of his feelings towards Cabot?
I knew he felt a certain resentment. It was the same with Dr. Kearns, but I had no idea.
Dr. Kearns?
The superintendent of the sanatorium. They didn't get on very well.
So it's possible he could hold a grudge there, too, eh?
Well, yes, I suppose it is. But I don't quite understand.
It's simple enough, Mrs. Webster. If your son started one fire, he'd be capable of starting another. Now, where can I locate this Dr. Kearns?
At the sanatorium, I imagine.
Sanatorium?
Down in Purley.
Purley. Is that in Surrey?
Yes. Hotham Parade. Burnside, it's called.
All right, I'll just jot that down. Burnside, Purley, Surrey. Right.
Please God he won't do any more damage.
Well, we don't know for sure that he's done any at all yet. But you're certain there's nobody else? Going back to his Oxford days, maybe, or later?
The only other person I can think of is Alan Streatham.
Alan Streatham?
Well, they shared a flat in Knightsbridge for a while, before Julian came back to live here.
Yes.
I don't know what it was about, but they had some kind of argument, and Alan moved out.
To where?
I'm not sure, but his mother's a friend of mine. She'd know.
Well, can you contact her?
I'll phone her if you like.
Fine.
I've an idea he's married now with children of his own.
Do you think you could make that call right away?
Oh, of course. You wait here. I'll do it at once.
It transpired that Alan Streatham, who had been at Oxford with our quarry, was now living with his wife and 2 children in a house at South Wimbledon. He worked in the city, however, and was interviewed by Studdy in his Lombard Street office later that same afternoon.
That's correct, Mr. Studdy. Julian and I shared a flat together. Let's see, for about 3 months.
3 months. There was some trouble between you, I understand.
The trouble was all on his side. He's an odd sort, always has been. Quite impossible to get on with for any length of time.
Well, just what do you mean by odd?
Just odd. Queer up top. I never liked him much, but I needed a place, and, well, I moved in with him. For a while, things went smoothly enough. Then he started picking arguments, carrying on generally. Finally, he took something I said the wrong way, and that was it. We had the most colossal bust-up, and I cleared out. I don't even remember what it was about now. Something quite trivial.
Have you seen him since?
No.
Yeah. Your wife and children, are they alone in the house much?
Oh, not at present. They're spending a week with my wife's parents in Somerset. Why?
Penmark's disappeared from his home. It's possible he may have suffered a mental breakdown. Seems he has a passion for starting fires.
Wait a minute. You're not suggesting...
I'm not suggesting anything. But if I were you, I'd get somebody to keep an eye on your house for the next couple of days, just to be on the safe side.
But I...
Meantime, if you see any sign or hear anything of him, I'd like you to phone me at this number, if you would, immediately. Now, if I'm not there, you leave a message with my chief, Henry Simon.
After leaving Streatham, Study proceeded direct to the Burnside Sanatorium in the outlying suburb of Purley. There he sought out the superintendent, Dr. Norman Kearns, a middle-aged, greying-haired man with a protruding chin and a pock-marked forehead.
Julian Penmark.
That's right.
Yes, of course, Mr. Study. I remember him very well. Patient here for, 4 or 5 months, I think.
Uh-huh. Tell me, did he give you very much trouble?
Well, let's put it this way. I wasn't sorry to see the last of him.
Uh-huh. Kind of difficult to handle, eh?
Yes, at times it was. Extremely difficult. Rather an aggressive young man, you know?
Yes. Well, according to his mother, he wasn't very fond of you.
Well, of course, he didn't seem any too fond of anyone. Least of all of Cabot or myself.
I don't know whether you've heard it or not, but last Thursday night, Cabot's home was burnt down.
What's that?
It's quite true. Reduced to a shell.
Good Lord.
That's why I'm taking this opportunity of warning you. May not have been Penmark's doing, of course, but
yes, I'm afraid you're a little late.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Saturday night, my own home met with a similar fate. Yes, it was burnt to the ground.
If there had been any doubt before, there could be none now. 2 men, both doctors and both out of favour with Julian Penmark, had lost their homes by fire. That of Kearns, an 8-room bungalow not very far from the sanatorium, being completely destroyed. Initially, neither doctor connected the destruction with a former patient, but it was now quite clear that Penmark had been responsible in both cases. However, before the police could be informed, and while Study was stood still at the sanatorium, I received a phone call from our quarry's former friend, Alan Streatham.
Mr. Study told me to phone you, Mr. Simon.
Oh, yes?
After his warning, I rang a couple of my neighbours and asked them to keep a lookout for any loiterers in the vicinity.
Mm-hmm. And?
A moment ago, one of them rang back and said there was a man hanging about on the other side of the street. His description fits Penmark's.
I see. What's the position now?
Well, the chap next door spotted him too. They're both out in their gardens keeping an eye on him. Oh, I doubt if he'll make any move till they go back inside.
Would you excuse me a moment? I'm wanted on the other line. It might be Study.
Right. I'll hold on.
Yes?
Hey, it's Study here, Chief. I thought I'd let you know I'm calling the police in.
Oh?
Yeah, I'll give you all the details when I get back to the office.
I have Streatham on the line now. It seems a man fitting Penmark's description's been seen hanging about by a neighbour.
Well, in that case, I better make it fast. I'll call the local station, have them send them boys here right away.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment.
This is Henry Simon, bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for Jane Heathcote, address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
It was a Monday morning in the spring of 1952. The sun was warm and shone through the open window of my office here at the Missing Persons Bureau. A pleasant reminder that winter was done and summer on its way. My first appointment of the day was listed for 11 o'clock, and at exactly 2 minutes to the hour, my secretary rang through to announce the arrival of Mrs. Audrey Heathcote, who was duly ushered into my presence. With darkish-tinted hair and an upright carriage, she bore the traces of a youthful beauty. And although the years were beginning to tell upon her figure and her complexion, she was still a remarkably fine-looking woman.
I hate to be a trouble, Mr. Simon, but do you think I might prevail on you for a glass of water?
By all means. Unless, of course, you prefer coffee or tea. I can easily have my secretary send down for some.
No, really. It's very kind of you, but water will do nicely, thanks. Just a sip.
As you wish. There.
Oh, thank you so much. Lovely. There's nothing quite so refreshing as water, do you think? I simply adore it when I'm thirsty. Oh, but I see you're a busy man, so I won't waste your time with idle chatter. I'm here about my daughter Jane.
Yes?
She's left home, Mr. Simon. I've had no word from her for 3 weeks.
Oh. How old is she?
32.
32?
31, actually. She has a birthday next month.
You astound me, Mrs. Heathcote. I'd never have thought that you, that a woman
I
of
was
your...
married at 17, Mr. Simon. Jane was born a year later. To spare you the effort of calculation, that makes me 49.
An extremely youthful 49, if I may say so.
Oh, you may indeed. Thank you.
You had no other children?
No, only Jane. She's been a great comfort to me over the years.
She lives with you?
She was living with me, up till 3 weeks ago. We shared a flat at Hammersmith.
And her father?
Her father and I were divorced 18 years ago.
I see. What were the circumstances surrounding her departure, exactly?
We had a slight difference of opinion.
Mm-hmm. About what?
Well, it seems rather ridiculous, but... Well, she bought a dress which I didn't like. I told her it didn't suit her, that it was years too young for her. I wasn't criticizing her, you understand. I was merely pointing out that one has to dress according to one's age and appearance. However, she took offense, and before either of us realized it, we were involved in a somewhat heated argument.
Which culminated in her leaving home?
Well, yes. She simply packed her bags and flounced out.
Without giving you any idea at all of where she might be going?
Quite frankly, at the time, I don't think she knew herself. It was all so sudden and unexpected.
She isn't married, of course.
Oh, no.
Or romantically entangled?
No. She rather shrinks from male company.
Oh?
I don't know why, but men seem to upset her.
Upset her? In what way?
Make her nervous. I think perhaps she's developed a sort of complex about her looks.
Her looks?
She's a very plain girl. She never held any attraction for the opposite sex at all. At the few parties she went to in her teens, she invariably ended up sitting in a corner by herself. No one seemed to notice her, or if they did, it was more out of sympathy than interest. I remember she always came home dreadfully upset. There was never anything that I could say or do to console her.
Good many teenagers go through that stage, you know?
True, but most of them get over it. Jane didn't. By the time she was 20, she'd practically stopped going out altogether. And in each succeeding year, she got worse.
So there are no men in her life at all?
No, there never have been.
Did she have a job of any kind?
Since she left school, she must have had upward of 50 jobs. None of them have ever lasted more than 3 months at the outside. Either she doesn't like the work, or she doesn't like her employers. It's always the same story.
Was she working at the time that she left home?
No, she was between jobs.
Had she anything in view?
She had some idea of starting a nursery school.
On her own or with someone else?
On her own. She's very fond of children.
Did you believe that she was serious?
Not really. She's always talking of doing something or other, then changing her mind.
Is she fitted for any special occupation?
She's quite an efficient shorthand typist.
So most of the jobs she's had would have been in offices?
Most of them, yes.
Does she have any close friends?
Well, I wouldn't say they were close, but she does have a few friends. Women friends.
Have you made any effort to contact them?
I phoned all the ones I could think of. But for all they could tell me, I might have saved myself the time.
I see. What other inquiries have you made?
None, I'm afraid. The point is, I was so sure she'd be back. She'd never been away on her own before. For that matter, she's never been apart from me. Not for any length of time. Seems extraordinary she should suddenly launch out by herself.
In view of what you've just told me, it might not be a bad thing.
Believe me, Mr. Simon, I'd like to think some good might come of it. There's no use. I know her too well. That's why I'm so worried.
Yes. Referring to her father for a moment.
What about him?
Is he still alive?
So far as I know. I haven't seen him for more than 12 years.
Is it possible that Jane might have turned to him?
Hardly. She was only a child when the divorce went through.
13, 14. I should imagine she'd remember him quite well, even if she hadn't seen him since.
She hadn't. I can vouch for that.
Any idea at all where I might contact?
Oh, there's no point in dragging George into it. He'd be the last person she turned to.
Even so, I'd rather like to know where I can reach him, just in case.
We'll have to check with Daphne.
Daphne?
Daphne Collins, his sister. She was living at Earl's Court a few years ago. She's probably still there. If she is, the address will be in the phone book. If not, my solicitors, Hancock and Dealey, might have some record. For my own part, I haven't a notion where he might be.
Can you think of anyone else she could have gone to?
No.
How was she placed for money?
I couldn't be sure, but fairly well, I should say. She didn't spend much, and as well as any salary she earned, I gave her an allowance of £8 a week.
Did she have her own bank account?
She could have done, I suppose. I never really thought about it. As you may have guessed, I'm reasonably well off. Money doesn't mean that much to me.
Oh, very fortunate.
In that respect, yes. But what I meant was, I've never kept any check on her spending, or inquired what she did with the money I gave her.
Quite. Do you have a photograph of her at all?
Yes, actually, I have quite a few here.
Uh-huh.
This one's the most recent.
Thank you.
It was taken about 2 years ago, when we were on holiday on Swansea. Quite a good likeness. You can see what I mean about her being plain. It's really most odd she should have turned out as she did. Whatever else she may have lacked, her father had exceptional good looks. I wasn't altogether unattractive myself.
What's this one?
Oh, must have slipped in by mistake. That's her as a baby. Wasn't she the cutest thing?
Very quaint.
Oh, what a pity she had to grow up.
Oh, I don't know, Chief. She doesn't look that bad to me.
Nor to me, Study. But to her mother, she apparently does.
She could use a sharper hairstyle, smarter clothes, maybe. Otherwise, she's fair enough. Of course, you can never really tell from a photograph.
No. You say you saw Mrs. Heathcote?
Yeah, she went out. For 49, she's quite a slasher.
She looks a lot younger.
How long is it since the divorce?
18 years.
She'd only have been her daughter's age then. It's queer she didn't marry again.
Yes, it is, rather.
Who divorced who and for what? She tell you?
No, she's rather vague about that. Although she did say they haven't been in touch for more than 12 years.
Does he pay her alimony, anything like that?
Apparently not.
Well, maybe he divorced her.
Well, she got the custody of the child. Not that that means much, of course. Could have been by mutual consent. But then again, he's had nothing at all to do with the daughter, either.
You figure it's worth checking with him?
I'm inclined to think it might be, yes. Certainly couldn't do any harm.
Who should I approach, his sister or the solicitors?
Sister might be simpler. I've got her address here somewhere.
Oh, she was in the phone book, huh?
Her husband was, yes. Oh, here we are. It's 26 Mortimer Road, Earl's Court. Apart from anything else, I felt it was necessary to contact our client's former husband, George Heathcote, before proceeding further, if only to ascertain a further slant on the missing Jane Heathcote's background. Taking a cab to Earl's Court, Study duly alighted at the entrance to number 26 Mortimer Road, which was a narrow brick home fronting the street. In answer to his ring, the front door was opened by a shortish, round-faced woman who identified herself as Daphne Collins, George Heathcote's younger sister.
Oh, yes, Mr. Study. George is still alive, right enough. He married again a few years ago. He and his wife have a home in Ealing, 43 Rochester Avenue.
Rochester Avenue.
May I ask just why it is you're so anxious to see him?
His daughter's disappeared.
Daughter? Oh, you mean Jane?
Yeah. We figure she might have looked him up.
But he hasn't had anything to do with her since he and Audrey were divorced. She was only a schoolgirl then.
Even so, you never tell, you know.
Oh, that poor child. George should never have left her with Audrey.
Did he have any choice?
He certainly did. Audrey was the guilty party. He could have had custody if he'd wanted to.
So he divorced her, huh?
She went off with another man. What else could he do?
And Jane?
She took Jane with her. That was the most scandalous part of it.
And in spite of all of this, he was still prepared to relinquish custody?
Oh, don't ask me why. I could never understand it. I mean, it wasn't as if it was Audrey's first lapse. During the time they were married, she had affairs with several different men. She was like that. Not that she didn't love George. In her own way, I think she did. She just couldn't help herself. You can imagine the environment Jane was brought up in.
Roughly.
She was only 13 at the time of the divorce. My goodness. That'd make her over 30 now.
Going on 32.
Oh, it doesn't seem possible. People grow up so fast these days.
Some people do.
Pardon?
The rest just get older.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
In certain respects, the picture was not an unfamiliar one. Jane Heathcote was the product of a broken marriage. Due to her mother's waywardness, she'd been deprived of a father at the tender age of 13 and had subsequently grown up under her mother's wing. It seemed strange, however, that George Heathcote had had nothing at all to do with his daughter after the divorce, had in actual fact turned his back upon her completely, leaving her in the care of a woman who had proved herself to be both unfit as a wife and as a mother. This, of course, was only one side of the story. We had yet to hear the other. And it was to this end that Study paid a visit to the home of George Heathcote in Rochester Avenue, Ealing. Heathcote, it transpired, had a slight chill at the time and was spending the day in bed. Greying-haired and stoutish, he was propped up on pillows, sucking a cough drop and looking anything but cheerful.
I hope you don't mind the hospital atmosphere, Mr. Study. My wife's a great one for dosing me up with this, that, and the other. Have a mental.
No, thanks. They're a little strong for me. Getting back to your daughter for a moment, she hasn't been here at all, I suppose.
Yeah? Why should she come here?
To see you, maybe?
My dear Study, I doubt if she'd even remember me after all this time. Yeah, she was still at school when I saw her last.
You've had no contact with her whatever since the divorce, huh?
No, none.
You mind telling me why not?
Well, I hold the view that when a husband and wife separate, the break should be a clean one, particularly if any children are involved. Whichever parent foregoes custody should step right out of the picture and stay out, which is exactly what I've done. I don't hold with this business of bringing up a child in two camps. It's rank stupidity.
Well, that theory may be sound enough in certain respects, but in this case it seems a little extreme. You and your daughter were the innocent parties in the divorce. Why should you be the ones to suffer?
Well, Jane was more attached to her mother than she ever was to me. To have separated them would have been little short of criminal. And besides, Jane herself expressed a desire to remain with Audrey.
So it was actually she who made the decision, huh?
Well, let's say she helped me to make it.
And you honestly feel it was the right one?
I surely do.
In spite of what's happened?
Well, the girl's 32 years of age, Mr. Study. In fact, she's no longer a girl. She's a woman. At liberty to do what she pleases.
That still doesn't figure. I just can't see any father worth his salt walking out on his daughter the way you did without a backward glance. In theory it might work, sure, but not in practice.
You're a hard man to convince.
I'm paid to be.
You don't believe what I've told you, is that it?
Frankly, no. Look, suppose you give it to me straight, huh? I'm bound to hit the truth sooner or later, so why not save me the trouble of digging further? Needless to say, anything you tell me will be treated as strictly confidential.
I gave Audrey my word I'd never speak of it to another living soul, for Jane's sake.
I think the circumstances warrant you making me the exception.
Jane isn't really my daughter, Mr. Study.
No?
When Audrey and I married, she was already pregnant. I wasn't the father.
Who was the father?
I don't know.
Well, there you have it, Chief. If nothing else, it explains his conduct. Jane isn't his daughter.
Surely the woman must have some idea who the father was.
Heathcote doesn't seem to think so.
Gave me no indication at all that such a state of affairs existed. To the contrary, she went to some sort of pains to create the exactly opposite impression.
Well, I guess that's natural enough. It's not the sort of thing she'd wave a flag about. Anyway, according to Heathcote, he married her in full knowledge of her condition, in the belief that she'd stick to the path of virtue from then on. He was prepared to accept the child as his and make a go of it, but things didn't work out that way. Far from reforming, his wife went from bad to worse. She had one affair after another, finally capping it off by clearing out with another guy and taking the kid with her. Well, at that point he drew the line, sued for divorce, and as Jane wasn't his child anyway, he relinquished all claim to her custody.
No one else knew about her not being his daughter?
Doesn't appear so. So where do we go from here?
Well, perhaps we might check with a few of her friends.
Jane's?
Yes. I've got 3 names listed here, supplied by Mrs. Heathcote. She's already been in touch with them, to no avail. Still, they might tell us just a little more than they've told her.
What sort of friends?
Female. None of them terribly close, but friends, nevertheless.
Fair enough. You got the addresses there? I'll look them up right away.
It was after 6 in the evening when Studdy left the office. His first port of call was the flat of one Eleanor Baxter in Cheney Walk. A tall, thin girl, she was unmarried and lived on her own. Her acquaintance with our quarry having stemmed from the fact that they'd worked together in the same office for some months.
There's really very little I can tell you, Mr. Studdy. I really didn't know Jane that well.
You can't think of anywhere she might have gone?
I'm afraid not. I hadn't seen her for 6 weeks or more. Well, not since the evening she asked me over to dinner. That's how I came to meet Mrs. Heathcote, by the way.
Uh-huh. And how were relations between them?
Well, I don't know. It's difficult to say. They had so little in common. I mean, Mrs. Heathcote is such a vivacious, lively person. Although I must admit I didn't exactly see her to her best advantage that night. It was rather embarrassing, really.
Uh-huh.
Well, Jane and I had dinner alone in the flat, and Mrs. Heathcote wasn't expected home until quite late, but somewhere about 10 she came in with some man. I don't know who he was, and I'm pretty sure Jane didn't either. But he acted as if he owned the place, and certainly as if he owned Mrs. Heathcote. I don't know if they'd had a little too much to drink or not, but, well, they did carry on rather.
How do you mean?
Well, kissing and so forth. I couldn't help being a little shocked.
How did Jane react to it?
I'm not quite sure, but somehow I got the idea it wasn't the first time it had happened. Mrs. Heathcote bringing a man home, I mean. It's a dreadful thing to say about anybody I know, but, well, I think she might be one of those women who...
Yeah?
Well, people have all kinds of addictions. Some to drink, others to drugs.
And Mrs. Heathcote?
I have a feeling hers is to men.
The second name on the agent's list was a Miss Helen Gurney, who had rooms in Fulham and who had known our quarry for a number of years. Plumpish, with a pleasant face, she'd no hesitation in airing her considered opinion of Audrey Heathcote, whom she'd met on several occasions.
The woman's a very poor type, in my opinion. How Jane put up with her for so long, I'll never know. If she'd been my mother, I'd have disowned her years ago.
When was the last time you saw her, Jane?
We went to the cinema one night. Oh, about a month ago.
How'd she seem then?
Much the same as usual.
She didn't give you any indication that she might be leaving home?
No, if she had, I'd have thrown a party. Anything to get her away from that woman. Oh, I'm so glad she's finally made the break. Now she might have a chance to lead a life of her own. Have a little fun for a change.
Is there anybody you can think of she might have turned to?
Not really. Unless...
Yeah?
Well, she was very friendly with Mr. Heston.
Mr. Heston?
The vicar at St. Michael's. She used to help him quite a bit, organising church functions and the like.
I didn't think she had any male friends.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call Mr. Heston that. He's well over 60 and a married man into the bargain. But she's always thought a great deal of him. That I know. She could easily have gone to him for advice. In fact, if that's what she wanted, he'd be the first person she'd approach.
At the vicarage adjoining St. Michael's Parish Church on the fringe of Barnes Common, Studdy made the acquaintance of the Reverend John Heston, a balding man, kindly-faced, with twinkling eyes and a ready smile.
Jane, Oh, yes, indeed, Mr. Study. She and I are old friends. You say her mother sent you here?
Well, yes, indirectly. The point is she's left home. I've been retained by Mrs. Heathcote to trace her.
I see.
Has she been here at all?
She was here this morning.
Oh?
To say goodbye.
Goodbye?
I understand all the formalities have been attended to. The ship leaves at the end of the week.
What ship?
Of course, you wouldn't know. She's been toying with the idea for a long time. Now she's finally made up her mind.
To do what?
Emigrate to Canada.
Somewhat taken aback, Study was quick to press the vicar for details. Heston declined to answer his questions, however, pointing out that any discussion he'd had with Jane Heathcote had been in confidence, and that what she'd told him he was not at all at liberty to repeat.
I'm sorry, Mr. Study, but there it is.
Oh, that's okay, sir. If you'll just tell me where I can find her.
Well, I don't see that can do much harm. She's staying at a guest house in Kentish Town.
Uh-huh. And the address?
Not sure of the actual address, but the name of the place is Baltimore Lodge.
With this information, Study had little trouble in locating the guest house in question, and upon his arrival there, he spoke to the proprietor, who directs him to a room on the first floor.
Yes,
Jane Heathcote?
that's right.
How do you do? I'm Paul Study, Missing Persons Bureau.
Her face was devoid of makeup, and her figure, clad as it was in a drab grey frock, left a good deal to be desired. But there was much about her appearance which was very far from unattractive. Startled by Study's intrusion, she could do little else except stand there and stare, as he explained who had sent him and why it was that he'd come. A pause of several seconds ensued, before at length she broke the silence.
I'm leaving for Canada on Friday morning, Mr. Study. Please tell my mother she won't be seeing me again. Ever.
Uh-huh. I'll do that with pleasure, but first, I'm kind of curious to know just what it was made you finally clear out after so long.
We had an argument. She lost her temper. Said a little more than she intended to. I've put up with a lot from her, Mr. Study. Her endless stream of affairs, the indignity she's heaped on me at every opportunity. But when she informed me that she didn't even know who my father was, something inside me snapped. I knew then I just had to get away from her. Over the past few years, I've constantly watched her trying to prove to herself and to me that age hasn't detracted from her charms, that she can still fascinate men and hold them. But she's fighting a losing battle, Mr. Study, and she knows it. In a way, it's rather tragic.
Tragic, but inevitable.
She's even managed to find solace in the fact that I've never been attractive to men, that she still has powers that I never possessed. And let's face it, she does.
No, now there, I've got to disagree. I've got a hunch that her loss will be your gain. When you go over to Canada, you'll be starting off fresh. For the first time, you won't have to worry about being humiliated in front of others. There'll be nobody to humiliate you. You'll be on your own 2 feet. I think I'm a good enough judge of women to hazard a pretty firm guess that once you start walking on them, you won't look back.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
Jane Heathcote duly sailed for Canada and has since settled in Vancouver. I understand she's now married to a Canadian and has a baby son. Not long after her departure, her mother featured prominently in a particularly unsavory divorce case. But what's become of her since then, I couldn't say. Of this I am certain, however. Her fate will not be an enviable one. And now, as always, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir. This is Henry Simon, bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for Herbert Hedges, address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
Julius Badcock was a man to be feared, a man whose path one simply could not afford to cross. One of the very wealthiest financiers in England, he was noted mainly for three things: his shrewdness, his bad temper, and his collection of fine pieces. This latter consisted of anything and everything that could be termed an objet d'art, and included such priceless relics as the Empress Josephine's favourite teapot, a ruby ring that once adorned the right-hand index finger of Henry VIII, and a stout cane stick, which was said to have supported no less a personage than Socrates himself. But for all this, Badcock was far from satisfied. His collection would never be complete, he told his friends, until he gained possession of a second, of an identical pair of bookends, one of which occupied a place of honour on the desk of his study. As our story opens, he's displaying this piece to his learned colleague, Dr. Justin Morley, who fingers it gently, as though scared that it might suddenly sprout horns and attack him.
£10,000, Julius. Could a pair of china bookends possibly be worth such a sum?
To a collector, yes. I tell you frankly, Doctor, if I had the pair, I wouldn't sell for 20. Nothing in the world would induce me to part with them.
But you haven't got the pair.
I don't need to be reminded of that.
This piece by itself
Is worth precisely nothing without its twin.
Perhaps have you tried advertising?
My dear Morley, short of murder, I've tried everything, and to date, I haven't been able to get so much as a whiff of it. Yet I'm convinced that second piece is still in existence. It has to be somewhere.
If it hasn't already been broken by some clumsy idiot and thrown away.
Oh, heaven forbid.
What would you be prepared to pay for it? I mean, suppose I happen to stumble across it in my wanderings one day. It's not likely, of course, but it is possible.
If you do, you'll have my full permission to purchase it in my name, regardless of the price. Not that it should be more than a few pounds. The chances are that whoever has it, well, is unaware of its potential value. And I wouldn't want to pay more than I have to.
Always the bargain hunter, eh, Julius?
Bargains have made me a wealthy man, Doctor. Why pay £2,000 when I can get it for 2? However, it doesn't do to cross one's bridges. First, it has to be found. Yes? What is it, Hedges?
Your correspondence, sir.
No, put it on the desk.
Very good, sir.
No, not there, you fool, you... Watch out for that bookend! Oh, Joe, you blithering idiot! Now look what you've done!
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't see it.
Didn't see it? Are you blind, man?
It doesn't appear to have suffered any damage.
No thanks to this numbskull, clumsy, dumble-headed nincompoop.
Will that be all, sir?
No, it won't be all. I've had my eye on you for some time, Hedges. Only last Tuesday you put a scratch on Queen Anne's candlestick. And before that you overwound Whistler's timepiece.
Sir, I beg you...
Don't answer back. I'm sick and tired of your doddering ways. You'll just have to go, that's all.
Go? But, sir...
Enough. Get your things together and clear off. You're not wanted here.
Very good, sir. I would remind you, however, that I'm entitled to 2 weeks' salary and an extra week for holiday.
I'll pay it gladly to be rid of you. And now get out of my sight before I lose my temper and set about you with Lord Byron's riding crop.
Just as you say, sir.
Oh, that addle-brained parasite.
Don't you think you were a trifle hard on him, Julius? I mean, after all, the only...
Hard on him, nothing. Fella's a bounder anyway. Should have dispensed with him weeks ago. Now, where were we?
We were discussing the possibility of my purchasing the missing bookend.
Oh, yes. Well, as I said, I'm out to get it cheap. But if I'm pressed, I'll pay any price for it. You understand? Any price at all.
Over the next few weeks, Dr. Justin Morley gave a great deal of thought to the matter of the stray bookend. He was a man who believed in having friends in the right places, and it seemed to him that here was his opportunity, not only to curry favour with the all-powerful Julius Badcock, but to make a little money on the side for himself, by way of commission, as it were. Accordingly, he combed every antique shop and second-hand store in London. His efforts, however, went in vain, and he'd almost resigned himself to the fact that the object of his search no longer existed when he received a letter, an anonymous letter, written in a very unfamiliar hand.
Dear Dr. Morley, it has come to my notice that you are anxious to locate a certain bookend, one of a pair reputed to have belonged to the Bard of Avon, better known to his contemporaries as William Shakespeare. It is my pleasure to inform you that the article you seek is to be auctioned together with several other items in the rooms of Blackett and Fish, auctioneers, at 2 p.m. on the 16th of this month. Trusting you will use this information to its best advantage, I wish you good luck, good health, and good bidding. Yours in affection, a friend.
And so it was, at 2 p.m. on the afternoon of the 16th, a rather excited Dr. Morley took up a place in the crowd that filled the auctioneering chambers of Blackett and Fish in Oxford Street. For more than an hour he sat watching the proceedings, until finally, shortly before 3:15, his patience was rewarded.
Now, gentlemen, I have before me a priceless relic of great significance. As you can no doubt see for yourselves, it's a bookend. But no ordinary bookend, let me hasten to assure you. This particular item dates back to the days
Dr. Morley was overjoyed to perceive that the auctioneer, a fat little man in horn-rimmed spectacles, was clearly uninformed as to the true origin of the bookend, and he chuckled to himself at the obvious lack of interest displayed by the onlooking company as the bidding commenced.
Now, here's a real chance to show your breeding, gents. What am I offered for this little masterpiece?
10 shillings.
The gentleman's joking, of course. Why, £10. £10. £10 I'm offered. Now, I ask you, gents, do you want me to give it away?
Startled, Morley turned to see who was bidding against him. It was quite impossible, however, for the voice had come from the back of the room, and his vision was restricted by a maze of heads which encircled him. With renewed determination, the doctor again fastened his eyes upon the china bookend, which stood on the auctioneer's table, an exact replica of the one which was owned by Julius Badcock.
£20. £20. Any advance on £20? 100. Ah, I see there is one among you who has a deep appreciation for the finer things of life. £100.
200.
3. £1,000, gentlemen. Is there any advance on £1,000?
1,100.
12.
13.
14. Oh, this is more like it, gents. £1,400 on bid.
1,500.
16.
Morley's dismay was mounting with every second that passed. Obviously, his opponent knew the bookend's worth and was just as determined as he was to have it. But who was going to be fool enough, he wondered, to pay so very much for an odd piece that was completely valueless without its mate? If only he knew just how far Badcock was prepared to go. It had been unwise of him to act without consulting the millionaire further, but he did want to keep it as a surprise. And he'd been authorized to purchase, regardless of cost. Well, it was now or never.
Going for the first time at £2,000.
2,100.
22.
23.
24.
25.
That same evening, Dr. Morley presented himself at the home of Julius Badcock, who had just come back from a business trip on the continent and was in excellent spirits. When he learned that Morley had succeeded in purchasing the mate to his coveted bookend, however, he positively exuded goodwill.
My dear fellow, I can't believe I've got it at last. However can I thank you?
It was really nothing, Julius. I'm only sorry I had to pay so much.
A perfect replica. Come, let's go into the study and have a look at the two of them together.
Julius,
by the way, how much did you pay for it?
Well, I was just about to tell you.
Well, £3, eh? If the seller had only known, he could have pushed me up to 3,000. Oh, dear, what fools some people are.
Julius, he did push you up to 3,000.
Of course he...
I couldn't get it for any less.
Do you mean to tell me that...
Well, you told me to buy it regardless of the cost, sir. I simply followed your instructions. You see, there was another fellow at the auction who was every bit as determined to buy, and I had to keep on.
Falteringly, Morley explained just how he had come to pay such a very exorbitant price for the bookend. And at last, after much spluttering and blowing, Badcock regained his composure. Consoled with the fact he was now in possession of his most long-cherished item, he entered the study, accompanied by Morley, to examine the treasures side by side. But there an even greater shock was awaiting him. For the first bookend, the one which had stood so very patiently on his desk for 3 years, had disappeared. Am I to understand, Mr. Badcock, that you're asking me to locate a bookend?
No, Simon. Let me finish the story. When I found it had gone, I questioned the servants. None of them, it transpired, had ventured into the study during my trip to the continent. But I was informed that shortly after my departure, an ex-employee of mine, one Herbert Hedges, had visited the house on the pretext that he wished to recover certain possessions he'd left behind, and he obtained the key to the study door.
You think that he...
I don't think. I'm certain he came there for the express purpose of getting his hands on that bookend. He knew how much I valued it, and he was out for revenge.
Revenge?
I had dismissed him a few weeks previously for inefficiency.
Oh, I see. Well, it seems to me, Mr. Badcock, this is more a matter for the police than it is for the missing person.
If I inform the police, there'll be publicity. Hedges will hear of it, and the chances are he'll destroy the evidence out of pure spite. That's why I've come to you. I want a private inquiry so he can be tracked down before he realizes I'm on his trail.
And when you catch up with him?
When I catch up with him, and when I've recovered that bookend, then I'll call in the police, Simon, but not before.
Henry Simon will return in just a moment to continue this story. And here again is Henry Simon.
I always refer to this case as that of the missing bookend, although, of course, in reality, it was that of the missing Herbert Hedges. From what Badcock had told me, it appeared quite obvious that Hedges had taken the object in question, and just as obvious that he'd done so purely out of spite for his late master. But where can one look for the sort of man who steals bookends out of pure spite? That was the problem which confronted me, and to help me in the solving of it, I selected Agent Paul Studdy, who, when he had heard all, executed what I believe his fellow countrymen describe, quite aptly I might add, as a sort of double take.
Oh, now I've heard everything, Chief. This Herbert Hedges guy must be quite a character.
That's not quite how Badcock described him, Studdy, but we'll let that pass. What we've got to do is determine his present whereabouts.
How long was he working for Badcock?
Oh, for about 18 months, I understand.
What was his position exactly? I mean, was he a butler or...
I suppose one could refer to him as a kind of gentleman's gentleman.
Huh?
A personal servant, or valet, if you wish.
Ah. Well, maybe he's gone into service again.
Quite possibly. The question is whose?
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just have to make the rounds.
You know what they say about birds of a feather.
Come again?
It's quite likely that Hedges might be known to various others in similar positions to the one he occupied in the Badcock home.
Oh, you mean I should look up a few other gentlemen's gentlemen, huh?
Precisely.
Where do I start?
Oh, I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid you were going to say. Okay, Chief. Operation GG is underway.
In his own way, Studdy is quite a genius. And after leaving the office, he put his genius to work. He reasoned thus. If Hedges had been employed by Badcock as a valet, then, of course, the chances were that by this time, Badcock had hired another valet to take his place. And it was on this assumption that he formulated a plan of action, which culminated some 40 minutes later upon his arrival at the Badcock home on the outskirts of a very exclusive London suburb.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, well, hi. I'm looking for a, You used to have a guy working here named Hedges, right?
That is correct, sir.
Well, I'd like to speak to whoever is taking his place.
I had that privilege, sir.
You mean to tell me a gentleman's gentleman has to answer the door?
Normally, the door is answered by Wallace, sir, but he is off duty this morning.
Oh, Wallace, huh?
Well, I guess that'll make him the gentleman's gentleman, right?
Sir,
skip it. Look, I'm trying to locate Hedges. You wouldn't happen to know where he is, would you?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Can you think of anybody who might know?
You could try Hollingsdale, sir.
Hollingsdale?
Of Broughton Towers, sir. Lord Allen's country residence.
Oh, he's employed there, huh? I mean, Hollingsdale, I mean.
Yes, sir.
Friend of Hedges?
I understand so, sir.
Well, I'll pay him a visit. And thanks a lot.
Not at all, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, that's me, Albert Hollingsdale, at your service.
Oh, fine. I'm making a few inquiries about a friend of yours, Albert, or rather, I was told he was a friend of yours, Herbert Hedges.
Herbert? Oh, bet your life, sir. Known each other since we was nippers.
Ah. Well, he lost his job with Julius Badcock. I guess you heard about that.
Ah, bad business. Real cut up he was.
Yeah, so I believe. You don't know where he is now, by any chance, do you?
Oh, last I heard, he was applying for a position with Sir Francis Sparrow of Hepburn Hall.
Hepburn Hall?
With a H, sir. I told him he was balmy. Sir Francis is the last of a very long and tired line of Sparrows. It's quite common knowledge he's on the rocks.
Oh, Hepburn Hall. Well, where is it exactly?
Arden, sir.
Arden?
Again, with a H.
Oh, yes, sure, I know it. Well, much obliged, Albert. Do the same for you sometime.
Oh, my dear old Bean, how jolly to see you again after all this time.
Huh?
Come in.
Well, thanks.
Make yourself at home. Everything I have is yours, which is precious little, but it shows the spirit's there, eh?
Yes, I guess it does, but what I wanted to see you about...
Well, I think of it, you couldn't let me have 5 till the end of the week, could you?
Well, I really couldn't.
Splendid. Singles will do.
Look, I'm afraid you've made some kind of mistake. My name is Steady. I'm from the missing...
Steady?
Yes, that's what I said.
No relation to the Duchess of Devonport?
Sorry.
The Marquis of Chichester, perhaps?
No.
No. Too bad.
Well, what do you say we forget the family tree for a moment, huh? And I'm trying to locate a guy named Hedges. I understand he applied for a position here a few weeks back.
Hedges. Yes, Hedges.
Do you happen to know if Sir Francis took him on or not?
As a matter of fact, I did. Felt sorry for the fellow.
Hey, wait a minute. You mean you're Sir Francis?
Oh, but of course. Who did you think I was? The jolly old butler?
I beg your pardon, sir. I mean, when you came to the door, I naturally figured that you were...
Just at present, I'm a trifle hard-pressed for servants. The fact is, I'm living here alone.
And, Hedges?
It departed a little under a week ago.
Pretty short stay, wasn't it?
A sign of the times, old thing. You simply can't hang on to servants these days unless you're prepared to pay for them. Disgusting state of affairs, but what could one do?
Little under a week ago he left, huh?
Yes, that's right, a day after the auction.
Auction?
Yeah, a small function organised on my behalf in an endeavour to settle one or two of the outstanding debts. Took every stick of furniture in the place. Even my dear old four-poster went west. No regard for tradition.
Oh, it's tough. Where was the auction held, do you know?
Oh, I really couldn't say. I wasn't present myself. Hedges attended to the odious details, and the creditors took care of the rest.
You don't happen to recall if the items sold included a certain odd bookend, I suppose?
Bookend? Oh, my dear old sock, for all I know, they could have included 1 or 2 stagnant authors. I simply haven't the faintest idea. You'll have to ask Hedges.
Yeah, well, first I've got to find him.
Oh, we might try Brandon Castle. Had a buzz just yesterday from the jolly old secretary. Said something about a fellow who claimed he'd work for me applying for a job there. Wanted a reference or some such. Didn't quite catch the name, but he could have been Hedges. I said he was top-notch. Never did have much time for the Earl. False cousin of mine, you know. What is it, Fizz? Oh, somewhere in that vicinity.
Yes, well, it's worth a try, I guess. How do I get there?
Get where?
To Brandon Castle.
Why, you go to Brandon, of course, a few miles south of Sevenoaks, down in Kent.
Oh, good afternoon, sir.
Ah, good afternoon. Do you have a Herbert Hedges working here?
I believe so, sir.
Well, I'd like to have a word with him.
I'm not sure that would be convenient, sir. Who shall I tell him is calling?
Augustus Montague's study, the 17th Earl of Buckingham, sometimes known as Meatball.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Yeah, just forget it. Just tell him that I'm here. Be quick about it, huh?
Very good, sir. Will you come this way?
Thus did Paul Study gain admittance to Brandon Castle, the Earl of Delmore's summer residence and one of England's most stately and traditional manors. A highly irregular debut into the orbit of the aristocracy, but nevertheless a most effective one. Led to a sort of drawing room at the rear of the castle, he was asked to wait, and a moment later he discovered himself in the presence of a tall, spindly man, immaculately dressed and of most distinguished appearance.
You wish to speak with me, sir?
If you're Herbert Hedges, yes.
Of what service can I be to you, sir?
Well, for a start, you can lay off that kind of gaff. I've had enough of it for one lifetime. The name is Study. I'm from the Missing Persons Bureau.
Missing Persons Bureau?
Yes. Julius Badcock sent me. He wants his bookend back.
Oh, I rather imagined he might.
Well?
It is with regret that I must inform you, Mr. Study, that it is no longer in my possession.
You've stole it?
In a way, I suppose one could say that.
I guess you realize you've laid yourself wide open to a charge of theft.
I think not.
Well, you took it from Badcock's study, didn't you?
Borrowed would be a better word.
Look, if you let me have it back without any fuss, I might be able to persuade him against going to the police.
But, sir, how can I let you have it back when I haven't got it?
Well, who has got it, then?
I think perhaps I'd best explain.
Yeah, I think perhaps you had.
When Mr. Badcock dispensed with my services, I obtained a position in the household of Sir Francis Sparrow.
That much I know.
Well, as you may also know, I was extremely put out with Mr. Badcock. My dismissal was both unjustified and uncalled for. So I decided to teach him a lesson. Being aware of the fact that Sir Francis was close to bankruptcy, I suggested that an auction sale of his belongings might ease the situation to some extent. His creditors, of course, were all for the idea.
Go on.
Directly the date of the sale had been fixed, I paid a return visit to Mr. Badcock's home.
And lifted the bookend.
Borrowed, sir.
Yeah.
This done, I advised Dr. Morley, a close friend of Mr. Badcock's, by means of an anonymous letter to attend the sale. He did so, and succeeded in buying back for £3,000 the very same bookend that I had borrowed from Mr. Badcock's study.
You mean...
Yes, sir. There was only the one bookend, and it is now back in my former employer's possession.
But how did you arrange it?
It wasn't too difficult. I simply included it in the items being auctioned. Then, of course, I made a point of being present at the sale myself for the express purpose of bidding against Dr. Morley in order that the highest possible price might be obtained.
Well, I'll be darned. And you call yourself a gentleman's gentleman?
The gentleman himself must be a gentleman before his gentleman can be called a gentleman's gentleman, sir.
Oh, well, that's a very profound statement, Hedges. But, you know what?
Sir?
I'm fast coming to the conclusion that the gentlemen of this world have had their day. And as far as I can gather, the gentlemen's gentlemen are taking over. Am I right?
Indubitably, sir. Indubitably.
In just a moment, Henry Simon returns to conclude this story. And here again is Henry Simon.
Needless to say, Julius Badcock did not go to the police to charge his former valet with theft. He didn't dare, for fear the ensuing publicity would make him the laughingstock of London. And somehow, you know, I'm inclined to think that his fears were justified. And now, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir. This is Henry Simon bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for Frederick and Christina Kronberg. Address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
The German invasion and subsequent occupation of Denmark during World War II has been the subject of many books and films. Tales of heroism and courage in the face of despair, and of the fierce underground combat waged by the Danes against the tyranny of the Nazi regime. And yet I imagine there must be many more stories that have never been told. Stories such as one which I'm about to relate. To do so, I must take you back to an evening in the March of 1942. To a small house in the village of Koldenstedt. The windows are closed and there is snow on the roof, reflecting the glow of a clear moon. All is quiet. Nothing stirs. Abruptly, the silence is broken by the rumbling approach of a motor vehicle, and a moment later it takes shape in the form of a heavy military truck. Outside the house it comes to a grinding standstill, and 5 soldiers climb out. Led by a sergeant, they march to the front door, their jackboots crunching on the snow-covered ground.
Company! Halt! Aufmachen da drinnen! Wir wissen, dass ihr da seid. Wenn diese Tür nicht in 3 Sekunden geöffnet ist, befehle ich meinen Soldaten, sie einzubrechen. 1, 2... Ah, und nicht zu früh. Ihr Dänen wollt nie lernen, dass wir es im Ernst meinen. Was?
Sie sagt, dass sie nicht Deutsch spricht, Herr Feldwebel.
Eine ungebildete Bäuerin. Français? Parlez-vous français?
Nein.
Herrgott, noch einmal. Englisch?
Yes, a little.
So. Die blöde Gans spricht kein Deutsch, aber sie spricht Englisch. Sie sollte wirklich mehr Verstand haben.
Why do you come here?
You are Frau Kronberg?
Yes.
You have a daughter, Christina?
Yes.
And your husband? Where is he?
He was taken away.
Hört ihr sie? Sie sagt, er ist verschleppt worden. Why was he taken away?
I do not know.
I think you do. But no matter. It is you and your daughter we are concerned with. You will pack a bag and come with us, the 2 of you.
My daughter is not here.
No?
She has gone to live with my sister in Odense.
Oh, come now. You can do better than that.
It is the truth, I swear.
We will see. Gefreiter, nehmen Sie 2 Männer und durchsuchen Sie das Haus.
Jawohl, Herr Feldwebel. Cut, Jodel, vorwärts.
Please, I do not want trouble.
I have instructed my men to search the house. If your daughter is here, she will be found. If not, other arrangements will be made.
But why? What have we done?
You are being recruited for labor in the fatherland, together with many others like you.
Sent to Germany?
Do not look so distressed. It is a great honor. You should be proud to enter the service of the Free Führer.
But Christina, she is only 14 years old.
A good age for a girl. Who knows, perhaps she will find herself a German husband.
God forbid.
What? I will never understand you people. We came here as friends to help you.
Did we ask you to come?
There would have been no trouble if you had welcomed us. Our orders were to treat you well, to see that no one was harmed. And what do you do to repay our kindness? You spit in our faces. You do all in your power to make us enemies. So now we are forced to adopt harsher measures, to take drastic steps. Not because we wish to do so, but because you have made us. All this you have brought on yourselves.
Entschuldigen Sie, Herr Feldwebel.
Ja?
Sie spricht die Wahrheit. Es ist niemand hier.
Sind Sie überzeugt?
Wir haben jeden Raum durchsucht.
Geht in Ordnung. It seems I owe you an apology, Frau Kronberg. The corporal tells me there is no sign of your daughter.
I have told you she is with my sister.
That is very fortunate for her, and for you. You will go now and pick a suitcase. I can allow you 5 minutes. Gehen Sie mit Ihr Gefreiter und sehen Sie zu, dass sie keinen Unsinn versucht.
Jawohl, Herr Feldwebel. Kommen Sie.
One day you will be sorry for this. There will be a reckoning. And you will pay the price of what you have done. Every last one of you.
And so it was, a few minutes later, Kirsten Kronberg was led from the house to the waiting truck. The soldiers climbed in behind her, and at an order from the sergeant they drove off in a cloud of exhaust smoke, leaving nothing in their wake except a patch of footmarks in the snow. Such was the prelude to a case which was first brought to my notice some 7 years later in the spring of 1949, when I was visited here in my office at the Missing Persons Bureau by Kirsten Kronberg herself. At first glance, I estimated her age as between 50 and 60. But I was later to learn that she was only 43. Her hair was quite grey, and her features were drained of all expression, as was her voice, a flat, lustreless monotone.
The next day I was put on a train for Germany. We were herded together, dozens of us, and taken to Munich to work in factories. For 3 years we were Nazi slaves, working 15, 16 hours a day for just enough food to keep us alive. Then, a few months before the end, they sent us to prison camps.
From which you were finally liberated by the Americans.
By that time, most of us were too tired and sick to care. For myself, I had no wish to go on living. If it had not been for the children, I would have taken my life long before.
Children?
Christina and Frederick.
I didn't realize you had a son as well.
Yes.
Where was he when the Germans came?
In the house.
But I understood you to say that...
They were both in the house, hiding in the cellar. We had been expecting trouble, you see, because of my husband, Stefan.
He'd been arrested?
3 weeks before, by the Gestapo.
For doing what exactly?
He was a schoolmaster. A picture of Adolf Hitler was hung in his classroom. He took it down and burnt it. It was foolish of him. 2 days later, he was taken away.
And?
The same week, I heard from a friend that he had been shot. I could not believe it.
Was the report verified?
Much later, by 2 men who had witnessed the execution.
So you left the children alone in the house?
I had no choice. If they had found Christina, she would have been taken with me. That would have been too much.
She was only 14, you say?
Yes.
And your son?
12.
What became of them?
I do not know. I never saw or heard of them again. That is why I have come to you. I want them traced if they are still alive.
You had no word of them at all?
No.
I take it you went back home to Koldenstedt after your release from the prison camp?
Yes, I went back, but not to my home. I had no home. It had been burnt down. In the village, I asked questions about the children, but no one could help me. They had not been seen since that night.
But what about your sister in Odense? Did you check with her?
She died of pneumonia 4 years ago.
I see. And her family?
She was a widow. She had no children.
Parents?
Both dead.
Have you any living relatives at all?
There is no one.
Where have you spent the last 3 years?
I have been working in Copenhagen. It was there I heard of your organization, so when I have saved the money, I come to you.
Which means they may have returned to Koldenstedt without your knowing.
I left word with the people in the village. It was so like a do. I had no money. There was no work.
Can you think of anywhere they might have gone to after you left them?
No.
But surely 2 children, they can't have just disappeared. They must have turned to somebody. Wasn't there a Danish protection officer in the area?
In Viborg, 10 miles away, but not in Koldenstedt.
Did you make inquiries in Viborg?
Only through friends. It is no use. They know nothing.
Did they have any money?
No.
Food?
Very little.
Would it have been possible for them to have escaped across to England or Sweden?
Possible, perhaps.
But not probable.
They were so young, so helpless. And the Germans were everywhere.
You don't, of course, know for sure that they weren't picked up.
I am sure of nothing. Except that if they are alive, I must find them.
Quite.
You will help me, Mr. Simon?
Well, I can't make any promises. I shall certainly do all that I can.
You are very kind.
Now, let's see. Christina would be 21 now.
Old enough to have children of her own?
And Frederick would be 19.
I doubt if I would recognize them more than me. It has been so long, and I have changed so much since we were together. It seems an eternity ago.
You say that you were expecting the Germans when they came.
I knew they were recruiting labor. I knew also that Christina and I, being the family of Stefan, would be high on their list.
So when you heard the truck drive outside, you hurried them down to the cellar.
We had prepared ourselves for such an emergency.
Why did you hide them both? They wouldn't have taken the boy too, would they?
I did not know what they would do, but I was determined to take no chances.
It must have been extremely harrowing for you, waiting for the axe to fall, so to speak.
Every second of every hour, it was a nightmare. Often we would hear them passing in their trucks. We would watch through the windows, praying they would not stop. The nights were the worst. After dark, we did not dare close our eyes, for we knew well how dearly the Nazis loved to catch people asleep, to drag them from their beds and pelt them with snow. Like wolves, Mr. Simon, they taunted their victims. And always they came by night.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
It was a pathetic tale. A mother separated from her children 7 years before, living only for news of their whereabouts, not knowing if they were dead or alive. It wasn't the first case of its kind we dealt with, nor was it to be the last. Yet I found it curiously fascinating. 2 children alone in an enemy-occupied country, without money, without food, thrown entirely upon their own resources, and then left to fend for themselves. Where had they gone? Who had they turned to? And why had there been no news of them for so long?
There's only one logical answer, Chief. They're dead. They must be.
In which case, of course, it's our job to find out where they died and when.
Yeah, well, if you ask me, our best bet's to try and contact whoever was the protection officer for the area.
Well, the nearest one was stationed in Wyard, 10 miles further north.
All right, let's hit off from there.
My dear Hunter, with what?
A protection officer.
We have no idea who he was.
That shouldn't be too difficult to find out. Some of the locals would know. I mean, the thing is, if these kids were smart, they'd figure on getting over to England or Sweden. Now, that being the case, they'd know the PO would be the best person to help them.
True. Unfortunately, however, our client's purse strings are somewhat limited. She can't afford to have you gallivanting all over Europe on the off chance.
Well, does she have enough to cover my return fare?
She has £140.
What are you worried about, Chief? For that, I could spend a weekend in the real Riviera. You just leave it to me, man. I've been halfway around the globe and back for less.
It is a fact that Hunter has the most amazing knack of making a little money go a long way, which is why I prefer, whenever possible, to have him handle what we call the limited budget cases. In this instance, his reasoning was sound enough. During the war in the various German-occupied countries, protection officers had been appointed by certain patriot bodies to offer assistance to the needy, especially the wives and children of fallen or imprisoned patriots. It seemed quite likely, therefore, that Christina and Frederick Kronberg might have sought aid from just such a source. And it was to check on this possibility that Hunter journeyed to the Danish town of Viborg 2 days later. As anticipated, he had very little trouble in establishing the identity of the former protection officer in question, one Anna Haumtorf. The task of locating her, however, was a good deal more complicated, and 5 days slipped by before he finally caught up with her at her new home in Ebenrad, near the German border. A tall, blonde woman in her late 40s, she spoke fluent English and bore very little trace of the strain which she must have undergone during the war.
I am sorry you've had such difficulty finding me, Mr. Hunter. For the past 3 years, I have been moving about the country a great deal, organizing charity functions and the like. But now I intend to stay put.
Well, that's fair enough. After all the good work you've done, I guess you've earned a rest.
Oh, I have done my share, no more. But I am most interested in the story you have told me. Their name was Kronberg, you say?
Yeah, Christina and Frederick. As a matter of fact, I have a photograph of them here, taken in 1939. They're both pretty good-looking kids, especially the girl. Hard to forget, I'd imagine.
Oh, there are so many homeless children. Oh, no. Surely it could not be.
You recognize them?
Christina and Friedrich, but of course their names had escaped me, but the faces never. It comes back to me now. Their parents had been taken by the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
They came to me for food and shelter. The boy was very ill, I remember. I kept him in bed for many days.
I see. And then?
It was decided that they should go to Sweden. I had a number of contacts there. Families who had offered to provide homes for Danish refugees.
Well, did you have any particular family in mind for these two?
Olaf Grundl. He and his wife, they had a farm in Gothenburg. It was to them I sent the children.
Sent the children?
Oh, they would pass them on to others.
Oh, I see, yeah. They still living in Gothenburg?
That I cannot tell you. You will have to go there yourself and find out.
Yes, and just take a note of that. Olaf, what was his name again?
Grundl.
Grundl. What was the process of getting the kids across to him? I mean, that must have called for quite a bit of organization.
Oh, it did, believe me. From Wyburg, the journey was made in 3 stages. To Aalborg, Friedrichshaven, then across by fishing boat to Gothenburg.
Did they go alone, or did they have escorts?
Oh, with escorts, always, all the children. Alone, they would not have survived.
Hazardous venture.
In the winter, highly so. A venture that many times led to death.
With increased confidence, now that he had a definite trail to follow, Hunter travelled by train to Frederikshavn, crossing by ferry to Gothenburg on the Swedish coast. His luck held, and he was directed by the very first person he asked, a dockside storekeeper, to the farm of Olaf Grundl, on the outskirts of the town. Grundl himself proved to be a giant of a man. 6 feet 8 inches tall, he was built in proportion, and he had the weather-beaten face and features of one who had lived and thrived on an active, open-air existence. His English, although limited, was passable, and he spoke slowly in a deep voice.
Christina and Frederick Kronberg.
Yeah, that's right.
Names I do not remember, but the faces. yeah. Always the faces I remember.
Well, they were sent here by Anna Halmtrov.
Oh, yeah, he's a good woman.
Could you kind of recall what happened to him?
Well, they come to me, find a place to go.
What place?
He's in Stockholm. He's friend of my father.
Now, wait a minute, I get this straight. You sent him to Stockholm to a friend of your father's?
Yeah. His name Jörnsson, Lars Jörnsson. His wife and 2 children of himself. So I sent him 2 more, yeah?
Do you have the address?
Address?
Yeah. Where does he live?
Oh, in Stockholm.
Yeah, I know, but where in Stockholm? I mean, what part?
I wrote in book, you wait I get, yes?
Yes, well, yeah.
My English is not so good, I think.
Another bother here compared to my Swedish. It's sensational.
Two hours later, having obtained the address of the Jorgensen family from Olaf Grundl, Hunter boarded a train for Stockholm, arriving in that very city early the following morning. Outside the central railway station, he hailed a cab, and duly proceeded to the given address in the outlying suburb of Sundsvall. It was a large home, set well back from the street, and screened from public view by a very high brick wall. In answer to his ring, the front door was opened by a fat, jolly-looking man who made Hunter think of Santa Claus without a beard.
Mr. Jorgensen?
Yeah.
Well, glad to know you. My name's Hunter. I'm from London, Missing
eh?
Persons Bureau.
Yeah?
Jorgensen led the way to his study, where, sitting at a huge tumbler of milk, he listened intently as the agent explained the reason for his presence.
So I got the address from Grundl, hopped the train for Stockholm, and, here I am.
But this is strange.
Yeah?
Yeah, strange, isn't it? First, to set your mind at rest, let me tell you that Christina and Frederick are both alive and well.
They are?
You know the story of how they come here and why, of course. But there's much you do not know.
Well, I'm mainly interested in knowing where they are right now.
4 years ago, I made inquiries through private channels, and I was informed that their mother was dead.
Oh, well, that I can believe. I mean, the records got pretty messed up. All sorts of people were reported dead who weren't.
So it would seem. At the time, however, there was no doubt in my mind that the information was good. Christina and Frederick were also convinced that it was true.
Well, that explains why they never went home, or tried to find her.
Yeah, what you say is right.
Well, whereabouts are they now?
Oh, they're in Copenhagen.
In where?
Copenhagen.
Oh, Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Yeah, Copenhagen. Well, hey, well, that's where she was a little week or so ago.
Oh, they did not know that, of course.
What are they doing there?
Well, Christina, she's studying to be a nurse.
And Frederick?
Oh, Frederick, he's in business. They write to me every week, both of them.
Well, how long were they living here?
4 years. And which time, I'll let you know, I came to look on them as I did my own children.
Well, do you have an address where I could kind of contact them?
Oh, sure. But there is more to tell, however. More to tell, as I said, Frederick is in business.
What kind of business?
They ran a sort of form, what you call it, to delivery business.
Oh, delivery service. Yeah? Did you say they?
He and his partner.
Well, he's in partnership, huh?
Yeah? And you never guess who it's?
At this stage, I wouldn't dare try. Who?
Stefan Kronberg, his father.
It was now Hunter's turn to listen in somewhat stunned silence, as Jorgensen went on to explain that the information he'd gained in 1946, while alleging the death of Kerstin Kronberg, had at the same time led him to the discovery that Stefan Kronberg, who had supposedly been shot by the Gestapo in 1942, was in fact in an Allied hospital, recovering from the effects of 3 years in a German concentration camp. He had subsequently been brought to Stockholm by Jorgensen, where he was reunited with his children. Later still, backed financially by Jorgensen, the three had gone to Copenhagen, where father and son had launched themselves out in business. Little dreaming, of course, that not only was Kirsten still alive, but he was working at a job in that same city.
So now, Mr. Hunter, you can see what I meant when I said it was strange.
Strange? It's an understatement, Mr. Jorgensen. I call it miraculous.
I think perhaps I'd like to come with you to Copenhagen and see how they look when they hear the news. It will really be something to see their faces.
Well, it's Mrs. Kronberg's face I'm looking forward to seeing. See, for almost 8 years she's been a childless widow.
Yeah.
And now, just like that, she's about to get news that she's not only still a mother, but a wife as well.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
It was an incredible twist of fate that had kept the Kronberg family apart for so long, mother and children, husband and wife, each believing the other to be dead. Yet it is no less credible a story than others I could recount on exactly the same theme. Following the war, of course, the whole of Europe was in such chaos, and reports of death were so very commonplace that it is understandable how such a mix-up could occur. I often wonder how many other families there are, like the Kronbergs, who have been less fortunate than they and remained divided, perhaps never to meet again. Stefan and Kerstin Kronberg once more have their own home. Not in Koldingstedt as before, but in Copenhagen, where Stefan has returned to his former profession of school teaching, leaving Frederick to carry on the delivery business alone. And as a postscript, I might add that Christina has since qualified as a nurse. And now, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir.
This is Henry Simon bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these
stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. The Colgate show, Address Unknown, is brought to you by Colgate-Palmolive, marketers of Colgate Dental Cream with Gardol, Palmolive Soap, and new enzyme-active Punch washing powder.
In one moment, the search for Wyard Hare. Address unknown.
And here again is Henry Simon.
It's surprising the number of well-known people who disappear from time to time. In some cases, famous personalities, such as stars of film, stage, and TV, vanish deliberately and of their own accord. No one can blame them for wishing to slip out of the public limelight for a while, traveling incognito, blissfully unrecognized by admiring fans. Although it can be inconvenient if they don't tell anyone where they're going. In the case of the now well-established character actor Wyard Hare, it was quite a little different. I first became aware of his disappearance when a wild-eyed, quite lovely young girl was shown into my office one wintry afternoon some while ago.
You're Mr. Henry Simon. This is the bureau where they find missing persons?
We do our best, young lady. Yes, I am Henry Simon, and won't you sit down?
Thank you. My name's Linda Hare. My father is Wyard Hare, the actor, and he's disappeared. You must help me find him.
Wyard Hare. Name's vaguely familiar, but I don't think I can recall his work.
Oh, he was a big star at one time. He's always working now, but I suppose getting older, his name doesn't appear in such large type anymore.
Tell me more of your problem, Miss Hare. At the risk of sounding like the title of that famous painting, when did you last see your father?
8 years ago.
What? It's a very long time.
Yes, I know, but I've been to finishing school in Switzerland for the past few years. Daddy sent me out there. I haven't been back.
Not even at holiday times? That seems extraordinary.
I know, but it was one of the conditions. And you see, Father, being on the stage, is continually on the move. It was far more convenient for me to stay in Zurich all the time.
But you remained in touch. I mean, you wrote to each other.
Oh, yes. Yes, every month.
Supposing you tell me the story in your own words. I won't ask any questions until you've finished. Just start wherever you like.
Well, I suppose it all started last week. It was the end of term. My last term at the college. I went to Mademoiselle Maurice's office to thank her for everything. I just came to say good night and thank you, Mademoiselle, for the lovely evening. It's been so exciting, the prize giving and everything.
And you ran away with most of the prizes, didn't you, my star pupil? One of the most popular girls we have had here. And now you are going to leave us. You have been happy here?
Oh, yes, very happy. You know that.
I wonder how you will like returning to England. 8 years. It's a big time out of a young girl's life. Remember when you came to us? You were such a timid child with your freckles.
Yes, I felt so unhappy, so shy.
Now you have assurance, poise. You are a cultured young lady who would be credit to any aristocratic English family.
Oh, I'm glad. When one has a famous father, one has a responsibility.
Oh, mais oui. And Monsieur Wyard Hare will be proud to acknowledge you. What a reunion that will be. Oh, that reminds me, there is a letter for you. It's from your father. At least I think it is. It looks like the usual handwriting on the envelope.
Oh, thank you. May I open it now?
Mais oui, but of course. I expect it is to give you the instructions you will need for the journey to England next week. Open it, my child.
My dearest Lindy, this is to tell you no... Oh, no. Oh, no, it can't be. Oh, I don't understand.
Sherry, what is it? Not bad news, I hope.
Oh, it's terrible. I don't understand. It's unbelievable.
Come on, read it to me. I must know.
This is to tell you not to return to England in any circumstances.
What? But that is extraordinary. Does he not explain why?
Well, it goes on. Instead, I recommend that you go to Italy for the winter. I've deposited £2,000 sterling in your name in the Bank of Switzerland. Use this for your future and be guided by Mademoiselle Maurice.
Extraordinary.
This will ensure you independence for the future until we can make more solid plans. But please, Lindy, try to stand on your own 2 feet, as I will not be able to give you much help in the future. Don't be unhappy, my darling, but the whole point of this letter is that I cannot have you here living with me in England. Try to understand and not grieve too much. Live your own life and try to forget me. Bless you, always. Your loving father.
Oh, no.
Now, what does it mean? What have I done?
No, my child, don't distress yourself. Please, now, come on.
But how could he do this? I always thought he loved me. Oh, how could he?
Come, Linda, dry your eyes. Crying will not help. Here, the handkerchief.
Thank you.
Now, in the first place, are you sure this came from your father?
Of course. The handwriting. And it's on the usual notepaper. The President Hotel, Bagley Street, London. This one. And there's no one else who'd send me £2,000. It can't be any form of practical joke. That would be too cruel.
Impossible.
I don't understand it. When I was small, he used to look after me so tenderly. You know that Mother died when I was 2. He looked after me, although it meant touring around with him all the time. Has he forgotten all that? Why has he lost interest in me?
Oh, no, he cannot have lost the interest. He has written regularly, asked for the photographs over the years.
But I begged and begged him to let me go home and spend the holidays in England. And he wouldn't agree to that.
Don't forget your father is an actor, a very busy man who makes his headquarters in London but isn't always there.
Well, he could have found a way to spare me a few days out of 8 years. There must be something wrong. There must have been something wrong for years.
Would you like me to write, Linda?
Oh, it'll do no good, mademoiselle. Be no use asking him to explain. From the tone of that letter, I can tell that it's saying goodbye. He won't write again.
Then what will you do? Go to Italy, as he suggests?
No, I can't do that. I must get to the bottom of the mystery. I'm going to England just as soon as you can arrange it for me.
So you came over here and presumably went to the hotel where your father had stayed for all those years?
Yes, Mr. Simon. I took a taxi from the air terminal straight to the President Hotel in Bagley Street. It's a very large and expensive-looking place.
Yes, I do know it. Oh, carry on.
Well, I got there and went straight to the reception desk. Good afternoon. I wonder if you can help me.
Yes, miss. What is it?
I would like to see Mr. Wyard Hare, if he's in, please.
The name again, miss?
Mr. Wyard Hare, the actor.
You don't happen to know his room number, miss?
Oh, I'm afraid not, but you must know him. He's lived here for years.
I think there's some mistake. Well, I've been working here for many years. I can't recall anyone of that name as a permanent boarder. You must have the wrong hotel, miss.
Oh, but that's not so. Look, see for yourself. Mr. Wyard Hare is my father. He's been writing to me for years from this hotel. Look, here's the letter he wrote only last week.
Yes, it's certainly written on our notepaper, miss, but, well, lots of people use our waiting rooms while waiting for other people. They aren't necessarily permanent residents.
But he told me he was living here. He makes this hotel his headquarters.
Perhaps he intends checking in later. There's certainly no one here of that name at the moment. Was this an arrangement you had with him?
No. No, he doesn't know I'm in England.
I'm sorry, I can't help you. Has he no friends who'd tell you where he is?
I don't know anyone else. I don't know anyone in London but my father.
Perhaps the police could make inquiries for you.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to go to the police. What am I to do? Oh, what am I to do? And then the receptionist mentioned your organization, Mr. Simon. Perhaps Father isn't missing at all. There may be some simple explanation, but I can't find him. And I want to so desperately. Will you help me?
Young Linda Hare looked so sad. Her beautiful eyes brimmed with tears. I've seldom seen a young woman in distress so vulnerable. This, I thought, was just a simple little case to keep Agent Carlton Gatsby busy for the rest of the day. I called him in, introduced him to our pathetic young client, and left the rest to him to work out as he thought fit. His first call was, naturally enough, one back at the President Hotel.
It's very good of you to help me like this. But the receptionist was adamant about Father not being here.
He may have checked in since you last called. Look, you're all steamed up and nervous about this. Now, don't worry. I'll find your dad for you. Now, why not sit down here for a while? Leave it to me.
Oh, all right, thanks.
Like a drink? Something to back you up a bit?
No, thank you, I don't drink. And Mr. Simon was good enough to give me tea before we left.
Okay. Before I start investigating, you said something about having a photograph of your dad. Is that right?
Yes, I have it here in my bag. It's quite an old one, but Daddy's so handsome that I'm sure you'll recognize him from it, however much he's changed. Let me see. Ah, yes, here we are. It's not very big, but a portrait.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Marvelous face. And there's a family likeness, too. You have the same fine bone structure. Right. I'll start with your receptionist.
Let me come with you. I must know everything.
Okay. Come on.
Ah, Miss Hare. Back again. I'm pleased.
Oh, have you been able to trace Father?
No, I'm afraid not. But I've naturally been making a few inquiries from other members of the staff. One of the pages tells me that letters have been arriving at this hotel once a month, addressed to Mr. Hare for some years.
Oh, they'd be mine, of course. What happened to him?
Well, one of our porters by the name of Stevens has had orders to collect the letters and deliver them to Mr. Hare.
Oh, I get it. An odd arrangement using your hotel as a forwarding office.
Yes, extremely irregular. Although Stevens is a thoroughly reliable man. He's been in our employ a long time.
Is he around at the moment? I guess all we have to do is talk to him. He'll straighten it all out for you, Linda.
Yes, he must know where Daddy lives.
He should be coming on duty any moment. Let's see. Oh, he's never late. Ah, there he is, coming through that archway.
A very tall, upright fella in the hotel uniform.
Yes, that's him. Stevens. Stevens, just a moment, please.
I'm coming, sir. I'm not late, am I? I hope.
I must be going mad. You say your name is Stevens?
Did you require anything, miss?
But, Father, you're my father. You're Wyard Hare.
I'm afraid not, miss. I've never heard of the gentleman.
Oh, but you must be. Oh, Daddy, what does this all mean? I'm Linda. I'm your only daughter.
I'm very sorry, miss. You made a mistake. I've never seen you before in the whole of my life.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. You're listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown.
Messy fruit, take to my grounding grass. Dried blood.
Those are some of my worst wash day problems.
Right, but this will fix them.
Hey, that's a new form of cleaning power.
It's new Biofab washing powder, now with enzyme energy. When it comes to problem dirt and set-in stains, Biofab blasts dirt and stains clean away.
You mean Biofab with enzyme energy is stronger than even my kids' dirt and stains?
Yes. Biofab with enzyme energy works biologically, soaks out set-in stains and washes out problem dirt with complete safety for even delicate fabrics.
Sounds like Biofab sets a new standard of cleanness and whiteness.
It certainly does.
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet.
New Lemon Fresh Brisk.
Gives you deodorant protection and complexion care in one.
Feel fresh.
Feel beautifully fresh.
With new Lemon Fresh Brisk Deodorant Beauty Soap.
And here again is Henry Simon.
It must have been one of the greatest shocks Linda Hare had ever experienced. She was so sure that the tall, handsome man in the porter's uniform was her own father. Yet he denied it without batting an eyelid. The strain of the journey, the confusion, and her own despair became too much for Linda. The hotel foyer swayed before her eyes. She clung to Carlton Gatsby and then fainted.
What happened?
You fainted. It's all right. Things just a bit too much for you. When the hotel porter denied that he was your father, you just passed out. I carried you in here. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm all right, thank you.
Now, look here. Are you absolutely sure that man was your dad?
Yes, I am. I know it's him.
And what the heck is he doing masquerading as a porter? He can't be poor if he's just sent you £2,000.
He isn't poor. How can he be? I've been attending the most expensive school in Europe for the last 8 years.
It just doesn't add up.
Maybe he's done something. Something he's ashamed of. Something awful. I don't care. I've got to find him. Where is he now, do you know?
I made inquiries at the desk a moment ago. They say he left the hotel immediately. His uniform is hanging up in the porter's change room. All his stuff is in there. It looks as though he's checked out of the job.
What? Well, then we found him only to lose him again.
Yeah, that thought crossed my mind, too. But I got the address of where he stays. If you're feeling up to it, then, shall we try once again? This is it. Number 12 Sinclair Street. Not exactly a mansion, is it?
Oh, it's a terrible place. Even the taxi wouldn't come down here.
Well, here goes.
Well, there doesn't seem to be anyone at home.
Give him time.
Yes?
Good afternoon. I'm Carlton Gatsby from the Missing Persons Bureau. I'm looking for a Mr. Stevens. Are you the landlady?
That's right. Looking for Mr. Stevens, are you? That's rich. He ain't never had a visitor for all the years he's been with me. And now you come here.
Well, then he does live here.
If you'll just let me finish. I was about to say, and now you come here asking for him but 5 minutes after he packed up and left.
He's gone. Are you sure it's for good?
I reckon so. Came in here about half an hour ago, as white as a sheet. Sudden bad news, Mrs. Higgsy says. Got to leave urgent-like. Packed his bags in about 5 minutes flat. Not that he had much, you understand. And off he went. Mind you, he paid me up in full. Quite the gent he'd always been. No complaints there. I always thought he'd come down in the world.
You've no idea where he's gone? No forwarding address?
No, wouldn't say. And I'm not the nosy type. Anything more you want?
No. No, thanks.
Right. Bye then.
Again, they just missed solving the riddle of Wyard Hare. This time, they had no clues to his whereabouts. Gatsby began to wonder if Linda hadn't been mistaken. But the very fact that the man who called himself Stevens had quit both his job and his lodgings was very suspicious. Gatsby calmed Linda down once again, this time by buying her a strong coffee in the local cafe.
What now, Mr. Gatsby?
Well, let's look at it from a completely different angle, shall we, Linda?
What do you mean?
Now, your father was an actor, is an actor. Now, surely there is someone who remembers him. Haven't you got any account of his recent theatrical activities?
No. No, he was curiously reticent about his career. Oh, I've got some programs that he sent me. They were all years and years ago. Oh, here, I should have shown you these before.
Let's see. Regent Theater. Summer Storm, starring Wyard Hare. Oh, this isn't very much use. It's 9 years ago.
Yes, I know. I managed to collect that the year before he sent me to school.
Wait a minute. Also starring Josephine Lawford. Now, that's a name. It might lead us somewhere.
Why? I don't understand.
Josephine Lawford has just opened a new play at the Grand. Now, maybe she can give us a few tips. She'll certainly remember your father anyway. What's the time? Late. Come on. Maybe we can still catch her in the dressing room after the performance.
Come in.
Miss Josephine Lawford?
Oh, not more autographs. Honestly, darling, it's very flattering, but I've got to get out of this absurd costume. Do you mind?
I'm sorry, Miss Lawford, but we aren't fans.
You're not? Then what?
I'll only take up a moment of your time. My name is Gatsby, and I'm from the Missing Persons Bureau. This is Miss Linda Hayer. She's the daughter of Wyard Hayer. Do you remember him?
Wyard? Well, of course. Please come in. Close the door. My dear, do come in. Let me look at you. Beautiful, but beautiful. Because I should have known you anywhere. That nose, those lovely high cheekbones, too beautiful. Of course you are Wyard's daughter. But tell me, what is all this about the Missing Persons Bureau? Who is missing?
My father. I came over from Switzerland and I can't find him. We thought you might help us.
Oh, so he's disappeared yet again, has he?
And what do you mean, yet again, Miss Lawford?
Well, it's strange. I was talking to my agent only this morning, and we mentioned your father in connection with the new play. But you see, he disappeared out of my life, ages ago.
Oh? Why? I mean...
Well, it's a strange tale. You see, your father and I were once engaged. Didn't you know that?
No, I didn't.
It's true. We'd finished playing a very successful run of a play called Summer Storm.
Oh, yes, I have the program of that.
It was some years ago. Then we went into rehearsal for a new play, which would have made us the most popular team in London. All went well until the dress rehearsal of the play. We were opening out of town, of course. During the last act, Wyard's voice went.
His voice?
Yes. He just stood there croaking on stage. It was quite horrible. His understudy had to play the last act. I rushed back out to the final curtain to commiserate, but he'd gone. No one ever saw him again. No management could trace him. I tried. But then, being a woman, and I imagined a jilted woman, I had far too much pride, I suppose. I wondered if he was using this as an excuse to get rid of me. So I just put him out of my mind and concentrated upon my career. And now you two have come to bring it all back again.
Well, then, you can't help us.
I'm afraid not. No one in the profession has seen or heard of Wyard Hayer for years.
Well, then it must be Father.
I beg your pardon? I don't understand.
We've traced a man we think is Linda's father working as a porter at the President Hotel in Bagley Street.
What? Surely not. It couldn't be Wyard.
It looks like it. In some curious way, he's been able to look after Linda while concealing from her the fact that he's no longer a well-known stage actor. Why he has chosen to disappear yet again is still a mystery. A mystery we shall only clear up when and if we ever find him.
I wish I could help more. Now you've told me this, I feel so guilty. If what you say is true, then it is I who have let him down, not the other way round. Oh, if I can do anything.
I'll leave my card here. If you get any bright ideas, maybe you'll ring me. It's got my business and private phone numbers there, anytime. Good night, Miss Lawford, and thanks again. Oh, now what? Carlton Gatsby speaking.
Mr. Gatsby, this is Josephine Lawford speaking. Sorry to wake you in the middle of the night, but you did say any time, didn't you?
Sure, Miss Lawford. What is it?
I wondered, do you realize what today is?
Yeah, sure. It's Sunday. Why?
Easter Sunday.
Yeah. So it is. Well, so what? What's that got to do with the problem of finding Linda's father?
I remember way back in the past that every Easter Sunday, Wyard Hayer always went to the service in St. James' Church in the Strand. You know the very old church that was restored after the air raids in the war?
Yeah, I know the one.
I think we should all go there. The service starts at 11 o'clock. Hayer always went to the service in St. James' Church in the Strand. You know the very old church that was restored after the air raids in the war?
Yeah, I know the one.
I think we should all go there. The service starts at 11 o'clock.
Wait. Look, coming up the aisle. Isn't it? Oh, it is.
By heavens, you're right. I'd recognize that walk anywhere. Linda, you go to him. We'll remain out of sight.
Yes, of course. Father. Oh, Father, please don't turn away.
What? Oh, you're the young lady from the hotel, aren't you?
Oh, Father.
I can only tell you once again, miss, that
Turn round and look at me, Wyard.
What? Josephine.
Yes, Josephine. And by recognizing me, you've given yourself away completely. Are you going to deny us when you're your only daughter and the woman who would have been your wife? We know who you are. Are you going to deny us in a place like this? Can you lie to us on a day like this? Can you lie to us?
Oh, Linda. Linda, my dear girl. Josephine. Oh, how can I explain? How can I?
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. You're listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown.
Two pretty girls, Jane and Sue, but only Sue gets.
Hey, Sue, how's it done? With Colgate, it's the only one. Brushing with Colgate makes good sense, gives me the ring of confidence. The ring of confidence? Yes, that's cleaner breath, cleaner taste, cleaner teeth.
Thanks to Gardol. Only Colgate Dental Cream contains Gardol to clean your breath instantly. Fights tooth decay all day.
Colgate Dental Cream with Gardol.
Yes, George, I know your green sports shirt looks washed out and faded, but don't blame me, I'm fed up.
Modern fabrics are a real problem. Whites go yellow and colors dull. But now you can bring them back alive with new Bingo washing powder. Blue Bingo now contains active brightness to bring back whiteness and brightness to your whole wash. If you're fed up with yellowing whites and dulling colors, bring them back alive with new Bingo.
And here again is Henry Simon.
Wyard Hare, alias Stevens, the porter from the President Hotel, broke down completely on that Easter Sunday morning. Sooner than admit failure in his career, Wyard Hare had worked as a porter and done a dozen different jobs to obtain the money to keep his daughter in the school.
Hallo? Die telefoongidse vir Johannesburg en Witwatersrand in 3 dele is hier, insluitende die nuwe afsonderlike geelbladsy telefoongids. Gaan haal hulle by u poskantoor nou.
En nou is dit 7:30.
This is Henry Simon bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. The Colgate Show, Address Unknown, is brought to you by the makers of Colgate Dental Cream, Colgate Toothbrushes, Colgate Shampoo, Colgate Beauty Soap, Colgate Hairspray, and Colgate Talc.
In one moment, the search for Stephen Bartlett. Address unknown.
And here again is Henry Simon.
Anne Frank, the young German girl made famous by the writings in her wartime diary, once said that she believed most people were essentially good, despite the occasional things they did which seemed to belie that statement. I, too, believe in the basic fundamental goodness of humanity, but I'm certainly not unaware of its shortcomings, nor blind to its very often brutal and harsh realities. One takes people on the basis of their general behavior, not judging them on their occasional lapses. But I sometimes wonder if the lapses are not often the true indications as to their real nature. I remember a woman coming into my office some years ago and asking us for assistance. Mrs. Ruth Bartlett was a woman of about 40, who was, I suppose, at the time, normally quite cheerful and pleasant. When I first saw her, however, I saw a woman utterly miserable and pathetic, whose eyes told a graphic story of frequent, recent tearfulness.
You've simply got to help me find my husband, Mr. Simon. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know where to look, where to turn. He needs help. On his own like this, he's just no good to himself or to anyone else either. I'm so worried about him.
Now, just calm down, Mrs. Bartlett. Let's take this quietly and unemotionally, if possible. First, the facts, if you please. Your husband is missing, I take it.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Simon. I know I'm being incoherent and irrational, but
Sometimes I just can't help it, but I will try to help to keep calm. Yes, Stephen's missing. He's been gone for nearly 3 weeks. During this time, I've not seen him at all. I've heard from him, but I haven't seen him.
You've heard from him how? By telephone?
Yes, and a note. He left a note when he went off, and he's left another in the flat since then. He came to collect some washing, some clothing of his.
Then, is your husband really missing, Mrs. Bartlett? I mean, is there any point in our trying to find him if it's simply a case of his having left you and taken up residence elsewhere?
No, it's more than that. Stephen's sick, you see, that this is all an emotional thing sometimes, or perhaps even mental. Perhaps that's a more accurate word for it.
Mental? You sure, Mrs. Bartlett? It is rather a strong word to use.
I'm sure. Stephen's been seeing a psychiatrist about all this. You see, it isn't the first time. Not for me, not for his first wife either. He has a history of behaving like this. There's some medical name for the behavior pattern, but I can't think what it is right now. If you want to follow it up, Dr. Frobisher will explain it all to you.
What kind of behavior pattern is it? How does it manifest itself with your husband?
Well, he just goes off, disappears. Sometimes he stays in the same city, sometimes he goes elsewhere, lives in another town, takes another job, tries to start a new existence, but it doesn't work. Sooner or later, he contacts me again, comes back. But I'm not sure that I can take any more of it. I'm a nervous wreck. I live for the sound of my telephone or the noise of his key in the front door. I'm on a tightrope all the time. I hardly sleep. I can't eat properly. It's no good, you see. This time I can't go through with it on his terms again. I can't go through the daily motions of my own existence, waiting for him to decide when he's going to come back to me. Or if he is. I want him found, Mr. Simon. I want to talk to him and get this thing settled one way or the other.
Perhaps this is too obvious a question, but why do you wait for him? If he wants to leave you like this, if he finds living with you so intolerable that he has to run away every so often, why not simply let him make a life for yourself without him?
I've asked myself the same question many times, Mr. Simon. I give myself the pat little answers, the comforting excuses and reasons. I tell myself that I truly love Stephen, that I don't know what a life without him could be like, but that I'd be failing in my duty as a wife if I deserted him. I try to make out that it's my fault, that it's all due to something that I've done. And, of course, the little rational voice inside me murmurs that he did exactly the same thing before he met me, so I can't be to blame. It's a vicious circle of my own thoughts.
You say he did this with his first wife. Where's she now? Does he see her at all?
No, he doesn't. She remarried, went out with her new husband to settle in South Africa. But this was the horrifying thing to me when I heard about it. Stephen had 3 children by his first marriage. When he finally gave his wife a divorce, he walked out of their lives completely. He's never seen them since, except furtively, like someone spying on them, you know, waiting around their school and then following them to a playground and watching them from a distance. It seems rather sick to me. It's not a natural thing to have done at all. But then Stephen is sick. He is, I know it. I've spoken to Dr. Frobisher about it, and he's explained it all to me. Maybe that's the reason I can't just ditch him now. I sometimes feel that it's like callously walking out on a bedridden invalid who's dependent on me.
Well, you would better give us some details, Mrs. Bartlett. Your home address?
We have a flat, 12 Northcombe Mansions, Boone Terrace, in Knightsbridge. Nothing fancy, but it's pleasant. Nice, comfortable little home. More than enough for the 2 of us.
I see. You've no children of your own, then?
No, we've only been married for 3 years, you see. I was in my late 30s. I shied clear of marriage until then.
Might I ask why?
Afraid more than anything else. I know quite a lot of men. There'd be no big romances, really. I valued my independence. I was secure in my own little world. I didn't want to throw it all up and make a disastrous marriage just because I sometimes felt cold at night, because I craved a companion. Then along came Stephen. He was different to all the others. Warm, considerate, thoughtful, strong, I thought at the time. Strong, that's a laugh. For a while, everything seemed to be going along wonderfully. Well, we were happy. Oh, not like two silly teenagers gushing about love at every second minute. Just quiet and happy, that's all. At least I was. I wonder if Stephen ever really was happy.
What work does your husband do?
Salesman, electrical fittings and appliances, you know, television, radio, fridges, stoves, that sort of thing. And, a good one. His boss always raves about how good he is. That's the reason he always takes him back again afterwards.
Oh, he goes back to the same job every time he gets back from one of these absences of his, then?
Oh, yes, Mr. Munro takes him back. He says Stephen's one of the best and most liked people he's ever had working for him. But then Mr. Munro doesn't have to live with him, does he?
No, I suppose not. How old is your husband?
41.
And you say on this occasion he's been away for 3 weeks. Was his going a surprise to you?
No, not at all. I'd seen it coming for weeks. He gets moody and snappy, irritable. Absolutely unapproachable, too. A real Jekyll and Hyde character. Oh, smiling and dependable for his customers. And a monster with me. We were sitting down to dinner on the Tuesday before he left. The next day was his payday, so I suppose that had something to do with it. I broached the subject. Stephen.
What is it?
You're going, aren't you? And soon. You're going off on one of those trips of yours.
What difference does it make?
Difference? Oh, how cruel you can be. Of course it makes a difference. You just pack a bag and walk out and I've no idea where you are, or even if you're coming back.
Then why bother? Why don't you just divorce me and get it all over with?
Stephen, please. Please don't be like that.
Oh, look, let's just drop it, shall we? There's no point in our talking about it. Your voice gets on my nerves. Sound like a martyr with that plaintive little whine of yours.
Has Dr. Frobisher been any help to you at all?
No, he hasn't. Dr. Frobisher has been no help to me at all. And why not? Because there happens to be nothing wrong with me. Now, don't forget, all this was your idea, not mine. You got down on your ruddy knees and begged me to go and see him. Said I needed help. Said a flipping psychiatrist would sort out all the little kinks in me. Well, you were wrong, Ruth, dear. There aren't any kinks to sort out.
Then why? Why? Why do you want to go? Why do you hurt me like this? Please tell me, Stephen.
Listen, has it ever occurred to you that I just get tired of seeing your face? That if I hear that nauseating whine of yours just once more, I'll go off my ruddy rocker? Did that thought ever seep into that mini brain of yours? Did it? What are you doing? What are you getting up for?
I just want to hold you, that's all. I just want you to feel the hurt in
Leave me. Sit down. Now, don't touch me, Ruth. Now go and sit down. Drink your coffee and just leave me alone. I don't want any talk, any touching, any communication. Just for the love of mercy, leave me alone.
Stephen, you're so cruel. You must know what you do to me when you say things like that. But you say them anyway. You don't care that he's like a knife inside me, twisting, hurting you. You just go on and on.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. Next day when I got home from work, he'd gone. Just packed a suitcase and left me a terse little note saying he was going. He didn't know when he'd be back.
But you say you've heard from him since?
Twice by phone. One via another note he left in the flat. They all said virtually the same thing. He's all right, living on his own, sorting out his thoughts. But not a word where he is or what he's doing or whether he's coming back or anything. In the meantime, I've got to go on just normally, paying off the installments on the car and the furniture, running the flat, doing the buying and the laundry and the 1,001 little things that have to be done, keeping our home for him to come crawling back to when he's good and ready. But now I've just about had enough of it, Mr. Simon. I don't think I can take any more. I want you to find Stephen for me so I can meet him somewhere and talk to him.
Do you know what you want to say?
Roughly, yes. The important things, I know those.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
And this is what you want to do? You're quite sure in your own mind about that?
Yes, I am. There isn't any other way, really. I can't go on the way I've been, the way I am now. So I've got to do something. What else is there, Mr. Simon?
I don't know. I've no counsel for problems of this nature. Sometimes I wish I were. I wish I was wise and sage and knowing, but I'm afraid I'm not. I run a missing persons bureau. We help to locate those that are missing, that's all. And there I think we can be of help, Mrs. Bartlett. We'll find your husband for you, I'm sure of that. I only hope that when we do, the rest of your problems will be solved as well. I sincerely hope so.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. You are listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown.
Breakthrough from Colgate-Palmolive. New enzyme-active Punch washing powder.
Punch, the two-fisted one. Punch has both enzyme action to soak out stains and detergent action to wash in whiteness.
Yes, Punch has enzymes, a new kind of biological cleaning energy to soak out bad stains like gravy, beetroot, even blood. And Punch gives your normal wash a new sparkling whiteness.
After all, that's what we housewives want, isn't it? A stain-free wash is not enough, unless it's sparkling white, too.
That's right. New Punch soaks out stains and washes in whiteness.
Get new Punch washing powder. Punch, the two-fisted one.
Shaving time. Palmolive shaving cream makes a shave as smooth as it sounds.
The smoothest way to start your day is with a Palmolive shave.
Real smooth.
And here again is Henry Simon.
I obtained the relevant names and addresses from Mrs. Bartlett, as well as any other information which I thought might be of help to us in locating her missing husband. The first name on the list was Dr. Frobisher. I telephoned the man and made an appointment for my agent to call round and see him later the same day, and he was most obliging about it all. Then I called in Agent Luke Parker and handed the assignment over to him. I gave him everything I had by way of information, told him of the appointment with Dr. Frobisher, and listened to his comments. They were few, and Parker immediately started on the remaining names on the list. John Monroe, Bartlett's employer, who ran an electrical equipment business in London. Parker saw him an hour later in his private office.
Stephen, eh? You want to know about him? Well, I'll be quite honest with you. The sooner we get him back, the better I'll like it. One of the best men I've ever had working for me.
What sort of man is he, Mr. Monroe?
I told you. One of the best. Salt of the earth. Utterly charming. Absolutely wonderful with customers. He sells more of our goods than all the rest of the sales staff put together. People take to Stephen, you see. They trust him. They know that he won't be taking them for a ride, and he never does, I need hardly add. No, I trust him with my life. The man's that honest.
And yet, he's the sort of guy who just ups and takes off on his own every now and then. No explanations, no warnings to you, no anything. This is trustworthy?
Personality failing, that's all. It's his private business, not for me to go sticking my nose into. When he's with me, he's a man I'd stick by every day of the week. Does his job, and does it better than anyone else. Gives me his loyalty. So when he has these troubles of his, I stick by him. I keep his job open for him. And he always comes back, Mr. Parker. That's the whole point, you see. No matter what the reason for these going away of his, he comes back to me once he's sorted himself out. And when he does, he works twice as hard. I've no complaints.
You've no idea where he might have gone to this time, do you? Mrs. Bartlett is kind of anxious to contact him.
No idea at all, old man. None of my business. Stephen doesn't discuss his problems with me. I've no right to go barging in on his private life.
You don't have any idea what makes him do something like this every now and then? No beginning of an idea?
Well, when a married man does a thing like that, I suppose you don't have to look much further than the wife, do you? You know the old saying, Mr. Parker, what goes on behind the bedroom door is private, they say. But it's the cause of a lot of the problems in marriage. That's obvious enough.
You think so, huh? I mean, that's your personal feeling about marriages as a whole and the troubles that stem from them. Get behind the bedroom door and you know the secrets of everything.
I can't say I like your tone, Mr. Parker. I'm not accustomed to being spoken to like that. And my time is very valuable, if there's nothing else.
I get the point, Mr. Monroe. Thanks for your help.
Later that afternoon, Parker went to see Dr. Frobisher, but on the doctor's insistence, he was accompanied by Mrs. Bartlett. The psychiatrist's consulting rooms were comfortable and conducive to relaxation, and Parker took to Dr. Frobisher immediately.
I asked for Mrs. Bartlett to accompany you for a specific reason, Mr. Parker. Professional ethics. Stephen Bartlett is a patient of mine, and I cannot divulge to you anything which he might find in any way distressing.
Well, I quite understand, Doctor.
Indeed, without his permission, I cannot even reveal to Mrs. Bartlett anything of a confidential nature. I do hope you do understand my position.
Sure I do, and I respect the ethics involved. But I hope you can understand my point of view. We've been asked to find Stephen Bartlett, and I hope that you may be able to help us.
Well, let's see, shall we? What precisely did you have in mind?
You used a phrase to me, Doctor. I can't remember what it was. I know it sounds silly, but I thought of an aerodrome when you said it.
Syndrome? The incest syndrome?
Yes, that's it.
What about it?
Oh, without saying whether or not this has anything to do with your patient, sir, could you tell me what this syndrome is? Just a rough kind of outline?
I don't see why not. It's not at all an uncommon term in my field. No, it exists on a more widespread basis than is perhaps common knowledge. Its basis, to some degree or another, may be manifested in almost anybody. That basis is, of course, an incestuous feeling towards a parent. Perhaps no more than a vague flicker of something, not even given a name in the mind of the person concerned. Perhaps more than that, considerably more. In the case of a man, it's an incestuous feeling towards his mother. Now, if it's allowed to develop, it manifests itself later on in life in the man being unable to sustain a normal relationship with any woman. Eventually, you see, he will identify that woman with his mother, and this will create in himself a feeling of disgust and repugnance. The relationship with the woman will be eroded and eventually disintegrate. The man very often simply runs away.
I see. Yeah. Where does he run to?
Anywhere. It's like a wounded animal running to a dark place and licking its wounds. The man does that, sorts out his own problems as best he can, and then re-emerges to face a new life. New faces, new women, new relationships. But what he does not realize is that he carries his problem with him. He can never successfully run away from it. But he tries, Mr. Parker. He does try.
You don't make it easy for me. Is there any kind of woman that he might go to, a particular kind?
Yes, there is. A platonic relationship with an older woman, considerably older. The man might go to her to deliberately construct in her the image of his mother. And because of the age factor in his mind, the incest problem cannot arise. Now, here, I'm going to do something which I'm not sure is right. I believe it is, mind you, but, well, I wouldn't be doing it.
What's this, Doctor?
Now, the name of a woman and her address. Nothing more than that. Now, I would suggest that you go and see her, Mr. Parker. Draw your own conclusions. And I'd suggest you went without Mrs. Bartlett. Do I make myself clear?
You do, sir. Without really saying a thing, you make yourself very clear.
The name on the slip of paper was Mrs. Gladys Epping, and the address, a house in St. John's Wood. Parker went round there immediately and rang the doorbell. When Mrs. Epping answered his ring, Parker was not surprised to find her in her late 60s and decidedly of a maternal bearing.
Stephen is such a nice man, so polite, well-mannered and considerate, quite unlike the people one meets nowadays. Here we are, Mr. Parker.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I guess he is at that.
I was so surprised when he stopped his car at the bus stop and offered me a lift, and then insisted on coming out of his way to bring me right to my doorstep. Unnecessary, of course, but most appreciated.
Yeah. Does he come around here often?
Oh, almost every day recently. Just drops in, has a cup of tea and a little chat. I think he feels concern about me. Doesn't like the idea of my being lonely. Isn't that nice?
Sure. You don't often find people as considerate as that.
And so strange, isn't it, that a man like Stephen hasn't married. One would imagine that he'd make some woman most happy. Still, perhaps it's not yet too late.
Gladys, you home?
In the drawing room, my dear. Do come through. I have a surprise for you. Here he is now, Mr. Parker. Stephen always lets himself in.
Hello there. That's a surprise, Gladys. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had...
Hi there, Stephen. Long time no see. I got a message for you from Ruth.
Oh, how nice to see you again, old man. From Ruth, you say?
Yeah, I kind of thought you'd be interested.
Yes, naturally. Gladys, my dear, I wonder if I might ask a favor of you.
Why, of course, Stephen. Simply ask.
I wonder if I could have a private word with this gentleman. Just a minute or two, that's all.
Of course. I was about to go through to the kitchen to bring another cup for you.
Good.
I'll take a week longer than I have to.
And who the devil might you be?
Name's Parker, Missing Persons Bureau. Your wife asked us to find you. I just did.
Indeed. Might I ask how? How, for instance, did you find out about Mrs. Epping?
Well, it wasn't too tough. You've been coming here just about every day, so I took the bull by the horns and invited myself in to wait for you.
Ah.
Oh, and don't worry about the fact that Mrs. Epping thinks you're not married. I haven't told her about your wife.
How obliging of you. So, Ruth set you on me, did she? I find that tedious, Mr. Parker, very tedious. I dislike the idea of my privacy being interfered with. Did Ruth happen to tell you why she wanted me located?
Just said she wanted to have a talk with you, that's all.
Is that so? Well, you can take a message back to her, then. Tell her that I have no desire whatsoever to discuss anything with her, and that I resent the fact that she's gone to these sordid lengths to track me down. Is that clear?
I'm no errand boy, Mr. Bartlett. Why don't you tell her yourself?
Perhaps I don't choose to, Mr. Parker. What concern is it of yours, anyway?
Well, let's just say I'm curious, that's all.
Let's just say that you're far more than curious. Let's say that you're interfering, snooping, and thoroughly distasteful. And let's say something else, Mr. Parker, this. In my country, a private citizen does have some rights. I intend to protect mine.
That's so?
Most certainly. I'm not obliged to have people like you following after me, sniffing like little bloodhounds. If I find that you're continuing to do so, I shall call for a little assistance from the police.
No, I don't think you'd do that, Mr. Bartlett.
No?
You wouldn't want the trouble it might kick up. You wouldn't want people like Mrs. Epping here to learn the truth about you.
Very well, Mr. Parker. What is it that you want?
Not much, just an agreement from you that you'll call your wife, arrange to have a talk with her, nothing else.
I see. Very well. I shall telephone her this evening. If Ruth wants it that desperately, why not? But I'll tell you this, Mr. Parker. Nothing could be more of a waste of time.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. You are listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown.
You finish your tea, Jill. I'll get baby a fresh nappy.
Wow!
Look at this nappy. It's twice white.
You bet it is. That's Bingo White.
Only Bingo has regular and ultra blue to get your wash twice white.
Ultra Blue is Colgate's name for laundry blue.
And Bingo is the only washing powder to contain genuine laundry blue.
Put that wow into your whites and colors. Get Bingo washing powder. If you want kissability, you've got to have ultra bright teeth.
If you want kissability,
You've got to have ultra bright teeth. So shine them whitest, ultra brightest.
with kicky tasting.
Ultra bright toothpaste.
New extra strength ultra bright toothpaste gives you the whitest teeth.
Yes, kissability comes with ultra bright teeth. Give your whole mouth kissability with new ultra bright toothpaste.
And here again is Henry Simon.
And the end to the story? I'm afraid there is no end. Our client met her husband and had the talk she intended having, but it was to no avail. Stephen Bartlett refused to unbend or change his ways. Perhaps at his age it'd be difficult, if not impossible, to do so. Perhaps not. With help, psychiatric or otherwise, who knows? If Bartlett is very, very lucky, perhaps Ruth might still be waiting for him when he does come back. For love him she does, there's no question of that. The tragedy of this story is that it's a story that exists in one form or another all over the world. And now, as always, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir.
The Colgate Show, Address Unknown, is brought to you every Saturday by the makers of Colgate Dental Cream, Colgate Toothbrushes, Colgate Shampoo, Colgate Hairspray, and Colgate Talc. Listen again next Saturday evening at 7:30 when Henry Simon will introduce another story in the gripping and unusual series, The Colgate Show, Address Unknown. Listen on Monday morning at 8:45 to our next episode of The Reverend Matthew, a story of people, love, scandals, jealousies, ambitions, laughter, tears, and human conflicts.
And on the lighter side, a cash prize of 200 rand per week and that fabulous Ford Capri 2-litre XL automatic are still waiting to be won in our Sari 69 series. The address for your Sari 69 votes is P.O. Box 4014 Johannesburg. And do get your vote to us right away. Right.